Oh man, yo, what's going on, people? We back at it like a crack addict. What's happening, y'all? Can you all see me? Can you all hear me? Test tech, mic check. Mic check 1 2 3 4. What's going on, y'all? Let me go ahead and drag this chat out right quick. All right, pop out chat. Drag you all the way over here, and we should be good to go. Should be good in business. All right. Okay. All right, so starting at the top, we got the homie NeoGameSpark commenting first. Flame is burning. Oh, absolutely, flame is burning down there in the state of Florida. That's all they do down there. And then we got Flame coming in with the third comment. Damn, you got to be quicker than that, my brother. Now, if only you were on time for the streams. Oh no, I'm always on time for the streams. What you talk about? Every single time the stream goes live, within 5 minutes, this glorious mug appears on camera. What are you talking about? Don't say such slanderous comments, Flame. What is going on? We got B-Rex. Won't be able to tune in tonight, but I just want to proclaim that I have Riz and I got a girl's number. Have a good night, y'all. Blessings to y'all. Oh, shit. My man, B-Rex, my brother. Well, appreciate you stopping by for a little bit. If you're listening to this on the playback, bro, you better have that story time ready for next week, man. We all want to hear that shit. But good on you, man. Good on you. We got JMac19 in the chat. What up? Damn, the one time I try to be the first one on here. Yo, if anything, I'm gonna give y'all the cheat sheet, the cheat code to life when it comes to getting the first comment. I always put the streams up within an hour to 90 minutes of it going live. So if you are or so happen to be on the computer within an hour to 90 minutes of it going live, you have an opportunity to get the first comment. That's all I can say. Unless you're like Flame. I swear to God, I feel like Flame's got cameras all around the room. Oh, man. Okay, so let's see. Who else is in here? We got David Biglod in the chat. What's up, bro? Let's see. All of y'all saddle up. Papa Neo's going to talk to you about the dangers of Fast X. Oh, holy, man. Holy. We got JFam388. Hey, yo, at 8 o'clock, what's this man cooking? Also, first like. That's the first that truly matters. Yo, look at Jason Street spitting those facts, my guy. Shout out to you, brother. Yeah, as far as cooking, well, the reason why I had to push the stream back an extra half hour is because I was cooking for the family. So, you know, we had to do that first. We had to take care of our family out here in the real before we talk to the virtual family. That's what we do, man. That's what we do. We got Dylan Collins. What's up, my brother? We got Sora Life Story ready to get this stream rolling. My man. We got Aiden Weiler. What's up, bro? We got Pooh Bear. How you doing, my brother? We got DIMWITMONKEY. I've been working from home and I've watched 5 seasons of Degrassi in the past week, so this will be a nice break. Hey, man, you know what? Sometimes, like, do you guys ever get into a situation where you watch something or you play something where admittedly, you know, it's not like the greatest thing in the world, but you can't stop watching it for whatever reason? I've been through a couple of phases of that in my life. Like, the first one that I can remember off the top of my head was I was oddly interested in this show on the ABC Family called The Secret Life of a Pregnant Teenager or something like that. The one with Shailene Woodley. You guys remember that show? You know, it was your typical, you know, high school type of drama, all types of nonsense, characters making stupid decisions, yada, yada, yada. But for whatever reason, I liked watching the show because I hated all the characters on it, but at the same time, I wanted to see what happened next. Or, you know, I think it was called The Secret Life of the American Teenager. I think that's what the title was. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. I remember I watched like every single episode up until the very end, and I just fucking wanted to throw my remote at the TV, man. I was so damn pissed off. Let's see who else is in here. We got Valkyrian24. What's going on, Maddie? We got the homie Long Live Kevin Samuels. What's good? Oh, and speaking of Long Live Kevin Samuels, he just sent in a $1.99 super chat. Yes, sir. R.I.P. Ray Stevenson. Yeah, if you guys didn't know, news just broke not too long ago that the world has lost Ray Stevenson. Now, for those who are unaware of him, you know, he's played the Punisher before in the past. You know, he was most recently going to be in the new Ahsoka show that's coming out. That was one of his most recent roles. He's done a couple of bits here and there. Not anything that's like truly, like, I guess that would put him on the map in that sense that like everybody would know him. But if you've been watching TV shows and you've been watching movies, he is just such a standout when you see him. He's great. He's a great actor. And they just announced that we lost him. He was 58 years old. And it's sad, man. It's sad. Like, this shit don't get easier, man. It seems like every other day something like that happens. And I know you're gonna get the person that comes in here and says, well, everyone dies at some point in life. It's just that shit don't matter, man. And what's gonna make this shit hurt even more is because he's coming out in Ahsoka, right? He's coming out in that show. And then we're gonna see him on screen, and I have no doubt that he's gonna do a good job in it. And it's gonna be one of those examples where it's like, fuck, we lost another Star Wars legend, man. He actually did vocal. I believe it was Rebels. He was in Star Wars Rebels, and now he had like an on-camera role. I believe different characters. But yeah, it sucks, man. Rest in peace to him. My condolences to all his friends and all his family, bro. Let's see who else we got in here. We got Red Sage. What's good, y'all? We getting ready for the PlayStation Church meeting. Oh yeah, you guys know this. We about to pony it up right over here. Oh, and shout out to the homie Sensei J Dot for subscribing to the channel. I appreciate you, my brother. You know, we about to get into some PlayStation predictions here, so you know we had to do it right. Don't got any alcohol before the resident alcoholic in the chat comes in here and says, "Oh, what are we drinking tonight, boys?" No alcohol tonight. We just got a protein shake, and we got this Kodiak cake protein crunchy granola bar. It's cookie butter flavor, so I'm excited to try this out on stream. It sounds like it's got some Nutra what's that thing called? Nutra Valley action, where you open it up and it's just all types of crumbs everywhere. It sounds like it, so this shit might slap. We're gonna see. We're gonna have a live taste test on camera. Let's see. Oh, shout out to the homie Julian Phoenix for becoming a member of the Phantom Weirdos tier. I appreciate you, my brother. Who else is in here? We got Zubin Jacob. Can't wait for this Heat and Celtics game. Oh, man. Yo, the past couple games have been fucking hilarious, bro. That's all I can say. Let's see. We got Feared Camille in the chat. What's up, my brother? We got Corey Gryffindor. Hey. How you doing, my brother? Let's see. We got NKDN. What the heck is up? Yo, everything is up right now, man. Everything is up. The sky, the moon, inflation. My dick tomorrow if this PlayStation Showcase is fire. Like, yo, it's a lot of things, man. A lot of things. And everyone's going to be live tomorrow. You know this. We got Black Dragon in the chat. Neo is back. Yes, Neo is back, but so is the Black Dragon. We back at it like a crack addict. That's what we do, man. Crack addicts unite. We got Kid Stupefy. Yo, Neo. What's up, my guy? How are you? We got Exploit. What's good, Neo? What's good with you, Exploit? It's been a minute. We got Retromatic 154. Yes, sir. We in here. Absolutely. We are all in here. We're all in here, and the roof is not on fire yet. Let's see. We got DMZ Neo. What's up, my guy? How are you? We got James Lewis. What's up, man? We got everybody in here tonight. Shout out to y'all. Oh, wait, hold on. We got this dude Sensei J Dot coming here saying, Neo, I'm just here to say, don't spread the Fast and Furious propaganda. What type of propaganda would I be spreading? J Dot, did you not see my tweets last night, brother? Did you not see what type of state that movie left me in? Yo, we about to get into it later tonight talking about this Fast X, y'all, because I just, oh God. Okay, I'm gonna save it. I'm gonna save it for the segment. Okay, but let me just quickly go down the list, do the intros, and then get back to it. We got Katana in the chat. Yo, watching while I work out. My man, we got another member of the Gaines Nation tuning into Ask Neo while they are paying the dues to the Iron Gods. You fucking love to see it. Shout out to you, my brother. Hope you're having a great workout. We got Jay Redux with the redacted message. Oh, shit. What was he trying to talk about? I don't know. Maybe he was spoiling the PlayStation Showcase. I have no idea. Let's see. We got Beto Rods. What's up, Beto? Let's see. Scrolling down the list. We got 2003 Honda Civic. What's up, bro? Long time no see. How you been? Let's see. We got D Saints in the chat. Hello. We got Alaron finally made it. Twitter crazy. Yes. Welcome, my brother. We got JetFan95. You ever play Persona Q or Persona Q2? Yes, I actually have played the first Persona Q, but very little of it. Because I'm not the biggest fan of those Etrian Odyssey kind of games. I mean, I've played it, but it's like not necessarily my cup of tea. But you know, a lot of people enjoy it, and we did get a really cool song out of Persona Q. I did like that. Let's see. We got Wee Man on Wheels. What up, bro? When we speculating about that PlayStation Showcase tomorrow? Oh, we gonna speculate about it tonight, my guy. We gonna speculate it tonight, and then tomorrow, spoiler alert, we gonna be streaming the PlayStation Showcase like everybody and their mama and their goldfish is about to do. Let's see. We got Wilson in the chat. What up, Wilson? How you doing? We got Angel, you're Neo straight out of Fast X. Oh man, unfortunately we straight out of Fast X. But what's going on, Kingpin? How you doing, man? Let's see. Scrolling down the list, we got Michael Wells, we got Cypher. And I see all the comments about the PlayStation Showcase, you guys. We're gonna have our own little segment talking about it. So if I haven't answered it, it's not because I'm ignoring it. We're gonna discuss it. We got Ace Breaker in the chat. Mix some whiskey in that shake. You see, I can always count on Ace Breaker to be the little devil on my shoulders, because that's what he is in all the best ways possible. Not the worst ways possible. It's the best ways possible, because if there's one thing that Ace Breaker is that he is 100% consistent. Let's see. Who else is in here? Okay, we're almost at the bottom. We got Battlefield Joe. What's going on, Guzman? How you doing? Michael Santiago, what's up, my brother? He says, what up, Neo? Everyone hit that like button. Yes, that is a fact, you guys. Hit that like button. We got Brosum in the chat. What's up? We got Obi. What up? 1 month for Final Fantasy 16 hype. Yes, sir. And we got Black Lightning. Okay, so we are officially at the bottom, you guys. So we might as well just get the intro out of the way and get back to business. Welcome, everybody, to another fantastic and fabulous episode of Ask Neo. If y'all are tuning in for the very first time, welcome. Ask Neo is my weekly Q&A series where you guys ask me questions and I answer them to the best of my ability. There's no real flow or structure to this program other than sit back, relax, grab your favorite beverage of choice, and just come enjoy the nonsense, the chaos in this multiverse of madness. Now, before we dive deeper into the stream, I do want to direct y'all's attention down below into the video description, because there are a couple of links of interest. First things first, we have all of my social media outlets to, if you guys do want to follow me, my Instagram, my Twitter page, our Discord community, the Phantom Weirdos, in addition to links to the Patreon page, the Discord, I already said the Discord community, but YouTube memberships and all that good jazz. I want to shout out, of course, as always, to all the channel members. We've gained a lot in recent weeks, courtesy of the homie Jason, because Jason designed us a lot more emotes and a lot of badges and stuff that people have been spamming in the chat, so it's always awesome to see those. Shout out to all the mods as well for keeping things very civil in the chat. In addition to that, all the people who donate super chats. Super chats are a great way to have your question answered with priority if you want to see it pop up on screen and you want to see me talk about it for like 30 minutes at length, because you guys know I am very long-winded when I do those responses. And yeah, there we go. So all the members in the chat, type your favorite emotes and badges down below. As you can see, we've got a whole bunch of just random assortments of my faces in various different iconography. It's insane. In fact, Jason, I do have a request for you, bro, if you do have the time. There was an image that I posted on Twitter. It was an edit, I believe Flame made it, of me as Solid Snake, right? If you could take that and if you could make that transparent so we can have that as one of the badges, I feel that'd be really hilarious given some of the rumors for tomorrow's PlayStation Showcase. But yeah, other than that, you guys, Ask Neo was a chill show, so put this on in the background, whether you guys are cooking dinner, whether you're on your way home from work, whether you're going to work, whether you're at work right now, clocking in and serving the people. Whatever it is, you guys, sit back, relax, and enjoy. So yeah, you know, let's go ahead and get into some discussions, man. I don't know, what do you guys want to talk about first? It seems like everybody wants to discuss the PlayStation Showcase, so should we just get that out of the way, get it over and done with? Juliun Harris, what's up? What's up, Trapped in My Psych? How y'all doing? Hey, no, Jason, you take your time, my brother. You take your time. It is no rush whatsoever, dude. No rush. Are you over there moving furniture? Were you trying to get those social points up in Persona? Okay, I see you, man. This man working that part-time job for real. Putting on my clown mask for Kingdom Hearts 4 tomorrow. Oh, shit. Showcase talk? Okay, showcase talk. But before we get into the showcase talk, the homie Julian Phoenix just sent in a $5 super chat. What are your thoughts on HBO becoming Max and Netflix's whack rules? So yeah, this will be a nice little warm-up topic before we get to the PlayStation Showcase and while we let a lot more people come in. Also, if you guys are enjoying the stream, make sure you hit that like button. It helps out the channel tremendously. I tweeted it out on Twitter, so if y'all want to go ahead and retweet that, favorite it, it just sends this video out to the ether so we can get a bunch of people in this little weird family of ours. But yeah, so Julian Phoenix's question, as of today, you guys, May 23rd, yeah, might as well call it May 23rd, given what decision Warner Brothers Discovery has made. They have decided to rename their streaming service HBO Max, which let me just put this in perspective, you guys. HBO Max, which is barely 3 years old, if that. They decided to have a rebranding of it because, as you know, Warner Brothers has merged with Discovery and they're going to be putting all their content under one umbrella. So instead of just merging the Discovery content into HBO, they're just like, you know what we should do? We're just going to take the HBO name, which is one of the most iconic names in all of entertainment, not just television, not just movies. We're going to take that name and we're going to cut it out of the equation. We're going to cut it out of the equation and just call it Max. Because everything makes sense. Oh my God. But it's not just that. It's not just the name rebranding, just going from HBO Max to just Max. Like, yo, what? Like, yeah, man, I just want to catch the new season of fucking Game of Thrones on Max. Game of Thrones on Max. That just, it doesn't roll off the tongue to me. But you know what? I don't get paid enough to make these decisions. For all I know, this might be a great decision for the company, and they might go ahead and gain like 1,000 million, bajillion, more billion subscribers off of this. But to me, it's just dumb. But not as dumb as some of the other things that they're instituting with the Max rebranding. So you guys might have been confused by this one, but not only is Max getting a name rebrand, but they're also jacking up the price, and they are basically taking away the features that you guys have been paying for now. They're gatekeeping some of those features and putting it under a higher tier. So you know how right now on HBO Max there's, a paltry selection of 4K options available. If you do care about 4K streaming, something that's available on Netflix, Disney Plus, Amazon, things like that. Max doesn't have the greatest selection of content in 4K, but it was available. But now, the price that you were paying right now, which is like $15-16 for HBO Max's 4K content, now you got to pay $20 a month for for Max's 4K content. Now, does that mean that they're going to make all of their HBO content that's right now in HD, they're going to put the 4K versions of it? We don't know, but as it stands, it's technically going to be a price increase if you do want to watch with multiple streams available. So like, let's say if you have multiple people in your household and you want to watch it at the same time, you got to pay more money for that tier in addition to getting the 4K content. If you are a current subscriber right now of HBO Max, I think they said there is like a grace period of 6 months or so. Don't take my word for it. Where you will be able to make the choice of when you upgrade it versus people who sign up for it now. But still, wow. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like you're giving us any more content on top of increasing the price. It's literally just, hey, we're increasing the price because we have to. Like, all you had to say was like, yo, it's a fucking recession. We got to jack prices up. But now it's like, no. We're taking away the 4K content and putting it under that tier. But hey, listen, I do not get paid the big bucks to make these decisions, you guys. But what do y'all think about the HBO Max rebrand? And then there's Netflix's whack rules. Now, this just rolled out today. Well, it's not rolled out today, but they announced it today. They finally found their solution for password sharing, and that's an additional $7.99 a month if you do want to share your password to people outside of your main dominion, if you will. An extra $8 a month. Now of all times when Netflix really doesn't have that much great content available for people on the heels of a writer's strike, on the heels of, a Screen Actors strike. Like, just with all these things happening, Netflix is like, hey, you know what? Let's raise our prices and crack down on password sharing. You remember the days where we used to pay $8 a month for Netflix? Now, I'm not saying that they shouldn't raise their price, especially if they're putting out a lot of great content, but really, like, outside of Stranger Things, outside of the occasional hit like Squid Games, and then just the random movies that they keep pumping money into, what's going on with Netflix, man? Like, what is going on, bro? Like, I'm just thinking, like, all right, you know what? If you're raising the prices and you're putting out banger after banger after banger content, I don't really care. Because it's one of those things where the consumer is going to pay for it if the quality is there. Sure, they might gripe about the price, But if it's good shit, it's good shit. Now, nah, bro. So we're gonna see what happens as far as that's concerned with Netflix. I do think they are gonna get an influx of revenue from this, just based off there are gonna be people who pay the extra $8 a month. But I could see a lot of people canceling, especially given that the new season of Stranger Things is not coming out for a while, and it's delayed indefinitely because of the writer's strike. What incentive is there for Netflix? They're already losing a lot of their content to companies coming out with their own streaming services, which is a problem in and of itself. Like the only I want to say the only two noteworthy things that I've seen Netflix have is they have a really big push on international content. So, you know, a lot of Korean dramas, a lot of things from other territories. And they struck a major deal with Sony Pictures, where Sony Pictures, all their major blockbusters are going to be on Netflix whenever they do decide to come up on streaming. But other than that, God, if there's one thing that I've seen from Netflix and Disney Plus, especially Disney Plus, is they've started. Yeah, you guys remember how Warner started removing a lot of content from HBO Max a few months ago? And you know how it was just like one of those things where people are just like, fuck, there's some of these shows that they were streaming only, exclusive on streaming, and now they are gone forever because there was no physical media. Yeah, Disney Plus is doing the exact same thing. They're removing a shit ton of content because, according to what people are saying, they don't want to pay residuals, or they don't want to pay licensings, or all the other legal mumbo jumbos that are attached to those properties. And I find it so funny because some of those properties were things that launched within the past couple of months, like Willow. Now, regardless of whether or not you like the quality of those products, that is just such a fascinating thing. You're pimping out this streaming service as the place to be, and then you're taking away all the content. It's just another example. Well, it's two examples. Number one, it's an example of why people pirate stuff. And I'm not saying this is an endorsement of piracy, but when you do something like this, you're not only stifling the consumers, but you're stifling the creators who have poured their time, sweat, their tears into these projects, and now nobody can see them ever again. And then also, dude, like, how are you gonna brag about subscriber growth and brag about all these things when you are taking away the content that is supposed to drive people to the platform just because you want to save that money? Like, honestly, the way it's going right now, it seems to me like at some point streaming, that bubble is gonna burst, and I feel like we are gonna go back to the days of cable TV being the way that people consume content. Maybe not to the same degree as what it was before, but to the idea of like you have one provider, and that one provider gives you access to all of these streaming channels, if you will, not necessarily services, and then boom, you pay that flat fee, and then that's how you consume the content versus you subscribing to each individual service. In the beginning, it sounded like such a good idea, but now where it's like you have all of these services going around, it's become more expensive than cable. And I understand that it's different because with cable, you're at the mercy of when the show is airing versus streaming, it's on demand. But when you add up all the stuff like Netflix 4K, Max 4K, you know, the services that you don't get free from your cell phone providers or your satellite providers or whatever, that's coming up pretty close to over $200 a month when you add in a lot of the stuff that people want to watch. And that's absolutely insane to me, man. It's absolutely insane. There needs to be a solution, and I think maybe the solution is to scale things back. Maybe we don't need to be spending $200 million on a Netflix extraction movie that, sure, you're going to get a lot of people watching the movie, but is that going to translate to dollar sales? Is it going to bring in more subscribers on a consistent basis? You know, there's only so many people in the world who will subscribe to these services. And when you just keep expecting like year over year profits from all of these services, and profits, you know, don't like the profits that they're making from these services doesn't necessarily translate to, how do I say, it's like consistent user growth, because there's going to be a period in time where you start making these dumbass decisions and people just start unsubscribing in mass. And then your solution is, yeah, let's take away all the content and let's just, but regardless of that, we'll see what happens, man. I mean, I'm going to enjoy this as much as I can. But if this is any indication, you guys, don't rely on these streaming services for everything. If you have the opportunity to go out there and support the products, whether it's buying it on physical media or even just buying a digital download. Not saying that digital downloads be there forever, but it's one of those situations where you just never know where this content will go at the end of the day. And at the very least, if you own something on physical media, you know, you're always going to have it available. Speaking of which, Maddie is in the chat right now. This is actually a really awesome gift from my friend Valkian24 over in Australia. He got me both Black Lagoon seasons, which is pretty fucking dope. I've had this thing for like almost 10 years now. So sick. But yeah, let me go ahead and answer some super chats before we go ahead and dive in the PlayStation Showcase discussion. $2 coming in from Flame. HBO wants you to max out your credit card. You know what? I will allow that one, Flame. I will allow that. Then we got Blue Senshi 19 with the $4.99. I'm ready for Fast X Part. Oh my god. I'm ready for Fast X 10 Part 10. Same energy as Attack on Titan. Jesus. Oh, maybe I do need to break out the vodka for that discussion, man. We'll see. We'll see. Oh, but shout out to all the people who've been joining. We got the homie Abantus in the chat. What's going on, my brother? We got Echoes 93. We got Colin. We got Mr. Hero. We got Winterfort Studios. We got Otaku Underground. Let's see. We got Parmeet. What's up? What's up? We got Kareem. How y'all doing, y'all? How y'all doing? Let's see. Okay. All right. So now that we've gone ahead and tackled the super chats. Okay. Let's get into it, guys. Let's talk about the PlayStation Showcase. Now, this might seem pretty redundant, given the fact that every single time there is some type of a event, whether it's a Nintendo Direct or a Microsoft thing, you know, like I guess they finally settled on Developer Direct for their things. They always change it. Like first it's like Inside Xbox, and then there's this and that, blah blah blah. But now I guess it's Developer Direct. I'm not really that type of person who goes on there and predicts a lot of things, because more often than not, we as gamers, we get really excited. We get really excited for these events, and we just expect everything. We expect the cake. We expect the cake's cake. We expect everything on top of that, the sprinkles, the icing, like all that stuff. And then more often than not, the showcase really doesn't deliver. You know, if you're a fan of video games, I'm pretty sure you're going to find something to enjoy out of it. But this whole 10 out of 10 thing that a lot of people are expecting, like, we really haven't ever gotten a showcase that exceeds everybody's expectations and then some. Unless you just have no expectations like me. You go into these showcases and you're like, hey, you know what? Let's just go ahead, and if I watch this stream and I got a couple of game announcements, maybe a shadow drop or two, that's fine. I think that's the realistic approach to it, because it's not going to change your mind at the end of the day. You really have to have a crazy stellar showcase for some people to be like, fuck, I need to buy a console for that shit. But what's really significant about this PlayStation Showcase is that this is the first PlayStation Showcase in close to 2 years, you guys. The last time we had a PlayStation Showcase, I'm not talking about a state of play, a PlayStation Showcase was September 2021. That is a year and a half ago. September 2021. That's back when we were excited about Xbox on this channel. So it's been a very long time. And Corey Gryffindor, I see your super chat, my brother. I'm going to tackle that because that is one of the things that we are going to talk about with the showcase. So a lot of people's expectations are very high for this. Rightfully so, considering PlayStation, out of all three companies, has been the most radio silent when it comes to showing off new stuff. I'm not talking about games. They've been putting out games. They've put out Horizon. They put out Gran Turismo. They put out God of War Ragnarok. They put out Forspoken. I know that's Square Enix, but you know, they was advertising that shit. That is apparently a game that you can play on the PlayStation 5. And in before someone says, Jay Barry, Neil Slater, and Forspoken. You know, like, they've been very quiet. So they haven't really announced anything new outside of that showcase a year and a half ago. Like, the only games that we really know as of today, as of currently, that we have an announcement, we have a name, we know what the studio is. There are only 3 titles. Spider-Man 2 from Insomniac, Wolverine from Insomniac, and Last of Us Factions, which technically, if you want to get really, really specific, that game we've known about since before Last of Us 2 came out, when they announced that Part 2 is not going to be shipping with the multiplayer. It's going to be its own thing. So we haven't really had anything in the way of proper things to get excited about. They've been very quiet, and, you know, a PlayStation has been criticized for that. You know, like, oh, why aren't they announcing things? Why aren't they doing this? Why aren't they doing that? And to be honest, the reason why PlayStation ain't doing shit is because PlayStation doesn't got to do shit. They really don't. They don't got any competition out there that is seriously pushing them to compete on that front. And ever since they started gearing up towards the launch of the PS5, they've been very hush-hush about things. They haven't been going out there and giving interviews to outlets like they used to. The only time you would ever hear Jim Ryan come out there and talk about the brand, he's giving interviews to non-gaming outlets or tech outlets that don't really specify in gaming. In some cases, he'll do more interviews with GQ than he would in IGN. And the reason why, I mean, let's be honest, PlayStation doesn't need to advertise to gamers anymore in that sense. And I know someone's going to run with that and say, oh, so you're saying that they're trying to appeal to people who aren't gamers? Yes, that is exactly what I'm saying, because PlayStation is always going to provide games for gamers, but now they're trying to put the PlayStation branding and take it to the next level where it's become so synonymous with the term gaming. Just like Nintendo is synonymous with the term gaming. However, growing up, your mom, every single game console was a Nintendo. They're trying to do that with PlayStation, and they've been very successful with that. If you guys have seen the worldwide impact of the brand, PlayStation 5 is selling to a crazy degree. Like, not to say that memes are the be-all end-all of stuff, but everything involving the PlayStation 5 and how hard it was to get, it was leading the charts in terms of people talking about it versus the Xbox consoles. And of course, people are going to run with that as, oh, here you go, you're using this to say that, and Xbox, blah, blah, blah. But no, you just have to just be honest with yourselves. When everybody was talking about consoles being hard to get, everybody was talking about that PS5. It just is what it is. So for PlayStation, they see all this data, they look at these metrics, and they're just like, we ain't got to say shit. We don't got to go here and announce anything that we got coming out. We going to let our developers cook. We going to let them do their own thing. And we going to announce things whenever we want to announce them. Because PlayStation could tweet a fucking controller or the PS5 logo, and that bitch would be trending. And that's what happened. That's what happened. Oh shit, my girlfriend is in the chat. There we go. So yeah. But now that they've put out almost all of their biggest games for the first half of the generation, which is so weird to consider. We're technically almost halfway through a generation, because at the end of the year will be 3 years since the launch of the PS5 and the Xbox Series consoles. They've put out God of War, they've put out Horizon, they put out Gran Turismo. All those games are doing great sales-wise. Spider-Man is coming out this year. We need to know what's next. And now, more than any, I think is the time for them to go ahead and talk about stuff. And honestly, I'm going to be brutally honest. As a person who said that PlayStation don't need to do shit in terms of like marketing because they've already got people, the console's going to sell itself, this needs to be the showcase that is just as important as the PlayStation 5 reveal showcase. Because you've gotten away for the past 2 years, 2.5 years, with being very sparse with the information you deal out to people. Now is the time to show folks, okay, we've spent the first half of the generation showing you great looking games, but they were cross-gen games, right? Here are going to be the full fat current gen experiences that you can only play on the PS5. Now is the time to get folks excited. You have so many studios, and within those studios, they have so many teams. It's not just like one team working on one game, and then they move on to the next game. They've got multiple teams working on multiple projects. Insomniac is a great example of that. Now is the time. We already know that they've got a couple of games as a service titles in development. I expect that we're going to be seeing those. Me, myself, and I sleep. You say games as a service, I'm like, oh, listen, congratulations to anybody looking forward to those. Me, I'm a single player kind of guy. I'm a very, very, very traditional multiplayer kind of guy. I just don't get excited about this. It's like you put Destiny in my face, and I'm just like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just like, more power to the people who are happy about those games. That's great. But to me, it's just like, nah. And then when you just throw in like, oh, multiple seasons and this and that, I'm just like, that's a lot of commitment, bro. But if you give me a simple vanilla multiplayer experience, I'm great with that shit, bro. But again, I'm not the target demographic for those things. They want people who spend $70 on the game and then $60 every 3 months and $15 on skins and all that shit. I recognize that I am not the person that they are targeting. Oh, and here comes Abantis in the chat. Hey, just playing Destiny right now. Not saying it doesn't have its faults. Oh, no, I'm not saying that, Abantis. I'm not, bro. I'm just, to me, live service games and games as a service, they're not something I'm really invested in. I like the idea of it. I truly do. And I've spent some time in Destiny. But to me, I feel like when I'm not playing the game, I'm seriously missing out. And then at the point, if it sort of becomes a chore, it kind of takes me out of that experience. But it's very scary when you start seeing so many different companies trying to jump in on that. And as we saw with Halo Infinite, not every studio is capable or equipped to pivot from a traditional multiplayer into a live service. Halo Infinite, as Joe can attest, he still had not played that game because the game is not complete, because that multiplayer is still bare bones, and now you gotta wait for the next season for it to get more content that should have been available at launch. I digress. I'm not trying to use this as an opportunity to shit on Xbox. It's just not every developer is equipped. And when PlayStation is having 10 live service games doing that sort of thing, I don't know, man. I don't get excited about the potential of something. I get excited for something that is great on release and it keeps getting supported. So if there's anything that's doing live service stuff, listen, I'm happy for the people that are going to be playing that stuff. But me, myself, and I could care less. The single player stuff coming from the studios, right? Obviously, let's just get it out the way. Spider-Man 2 is going to be there. Spider-Man 2 is their next big game. It's probably going to be their highest selling title in a very, very long time. Like we already saw the sales records for God of War Ragnarok. I would not be surprised if Spider-Man is going to, I don't know if double is the word. It could do more than that, but it is definitely going to sail past those expectations, especially if the rollout of information is really damn good. Like if it's really on point and the game is looking phenomenal. Because remember, God of War Ragnarok was a cross-gen game, right? And that game looked incredible, but it is cross-gen, and there are certain expectations that you have to have with it. Oh, and shout out to all the super chat. Love you guys. I greatly appreciate it. I truly do. We're gonna get to those in a little second. I just give me time to get off my soapbox. God of War Ragnarok was great, but Spider-Man is going to be the game that I think is gonna blow the roof off in terms of, yo, this is why you bought a PS5. This game right here. And I really want that game to show that. I want that game to be the game that just gets folks like just so fucking excited to be a gamer again. Not just the PlayStation gamer, but just a gamer. Like I want to see what they can do with a current gen open world title, right? And I'm going to say this much. If the game comes out and there is nothing in the ways of multiple boroughs of NYC, if it's still the same damn map, I'm going to be a little disappointed because very few developers can get away with using the same map in a game. And if y'all ain't on the level of Nintendo with Tears of the Kingdom using the same map, but at the same time it's different, I'm going to feel some type of way. Right? They push the Switch to their absolute limits with this game, and yet it still seems so new. With the Sky Kingdom, with the depths below, with all the things, the world being different, I want to see if Insomnia can pull that off, right? We'll see what they do with that. But either way, Spider-Man, it's definitely going to be there. I'm excited to see what they do. The PS4 title was one of my favorite games of the generation. In my opinion, it's the best Spider-Man movie starring Peter Parker. Notice I didn't say the best Spider-Man movie, because the best Spider-Man movie, in my opinion, is Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. And then following that is Spider-Man PS4. Then following that, Spider-Man 2. And then you work your way down, you know. But yeah, we'll see. I'm excited to see what they do with the story on this one. So yeah, we're going to see Spider-Man 2. Then from there, we're probably going to see a barrage of third-party games. Basically anything that we know is coming out in the near future that PlayStation has an association with. So we're most likely going to see, shout out to the homie Bam Bam on Twitter. We're going to see Stellar Yams again because that game is coming out pretty soon. So they're probably going to have like a nice little showcase of that, maybe like a 2-3 minute trailer. God forbid, and I say this with all due respect because I am so excited about the game. God forbid we see Final Fantasy 16 at the showcase. I'm going to be real. Listen, Final Fantasy 16 is my #1 most anticipated game of the year. More so than Zelda, more so than Spider-Man, more so than Starfield. It's Final Fantasy 16. I've been looking forward to this game for so many years, ever since the initial trailer, 3 years ago. I've been following every single update that they've put out. I stopped following stuff within the past year because they were just going fucking ballistic with the trailers. And because they've been going ballistic in with the trailers and the rollouts and the previews, it leads me to believe that we won't see it at the showcase. And if we see just like a quick 15-second sizzle reel saying, hey, the game is out in a month, I'll be okay with that. But if these motherfuckers put another damn trailer, oh man, I don't know if that's just marketing or what, but I'm gonna be very disappointed because we've seen it, bro. We've seen it. We know the game exists. This is going to be 2023's version of Deathloop, right? You know how literally Deathloop was advertised like crazy in 2021? I feel like that's about to be Final Fantasy 16 if it has a substantial showing at the showcase. Not a sizzle reel, but a substantial showing, right? And then I'm going to segue a little bit off track from game announcements to something that has been going on with the industry as a whole. Now, well, first things first, shout out to all the people who've been joining into the stream. We got TX Bounty. We got the Arsonist in the chat. What's going on, gentlemen? We got Byron Cutler. What's going on, y'all? So I'm going to pivot just slightly because somebody did bring it up in the comments. There are rumors circulating. And if you've been following the news as of late, and if you've been listening to insiders, there are rumors circulating that PlayStation or Sony as a whole has been basically freeing up a lot of money because they are going to go heavy on the acquisitions. And according to some of these insiders, if they are to be believed, we're talking substantial. We're talking like billions with a B, not one, not two, but they're basically getting a lot of money to the point where it's close to $8 billion that they want to spend on mergers and acquisitions. And then from there, people start speculating. Could it be a bunch of studios, or could it be a whole publisher entirely, right? And since we're on the topic of Final Fantasy 16, a lot of people are speculating that PlayStation might go ahead and nab up Square Enix. They might go ahead and acquire the company because there have been a lot of rumors with all of these exclusive deals that have been going on for years. And there's just been a lot of talk that PlayStation has basically been, laying out the groundwork and setting up the foundation to go ahead and say, hey, listen, you're already putting your games exclusively on our platform. Sure, it might just be timed exclusive. We're already helping you out with these deals, blah, blah, blah. Why don't we just go ahead and make this official? Because if you look at what PlayStation has been doing with Square Enix throughout the entirety of both of the company's existence, these two entities have been dating for the most part for the past 30 years, right? Nintendo and Square Enix have had a couple of flings here and there. They've had like some nice summer flings, and every now and then, they take a trip. They take a trip to Myrtle Beach, Nintendo and Square Enix. But then PlayStation takes you to Dubai. PlayStation takes you to Abu Dhabi. PlayStation takes you to Paris. PlayStation takes you to all these places that you want to go. They make your dreams come true. And then every now and then they throw out a game like Forspoken because they got to have a little toxicity in the relationship. But regardless, PlayStation and Square Enix, I feel like the time might be right for them to put a ring on it. Now, that being said, would that open up the discussion of, industry acquisitions, industry consolidations? Because we've seen that talked about. I don't know if you guys know this, but Microsoft is trying to acquire Activision Blizzard King, right? And there are people online who have some positive and negative opinions about that deal. I feel like if they try to acquire Square Enix, it's going to be exactly the same way. Maybe not to the point of ABK, because ABK would probably be, that's 10 times what Square Enix is worth. But I just want to say this. My toxic side, the toxicity, neo-toxic spark, I want to see that same energy come back. I want to see gridlock in the industry. I want to see authorities go after this deal. If it is legit, I want to see it happen. I want to see it happen because I want the fucking entertainment. Because if I have to hear people talk about a deal and set up Twitter Spaces for 6 hours straight, you go to work, you come back, these motherfuckers are still in the Spaces talking about it. I want to see shit get blocked at every turn. I want to see it. I want to fucking see it. But regardless of that, that's just me for my entertainment. PlayStation acquiring Square Enix, I mean, I'm gonna be real. I don't necessarily see that as the smartest move, because Square Enix games, if they're multi-platform, they already sell the most on PlayStation. Unless it's some like really tiny game that can come out on the Switch and it's on both platforms, I can see it doing better on the Switch. But if we're talking about a game that launches on PlayStation and Xbox and PC, it's going to sell on PlayStation. PlayStation has to do really little to get a lot of Square Enix support. They don't have to do nothing, because it's just a given. Like, it's just a given, like how people buy an Xbox for Halo, people buy a PlayStation console for the Final Fantasy game. Like, the amount of non-traditional gamers who only buy like one game a console, the amount of people I know who bought a PlayStation 3 for Final Fantasy 13 or bought a PS2 just for Final Fantasy 10, there are a lot of people like that. And there's going to be a lot of people buying a PS5 just for 16. So I don't know if that's necessarily the smartest decision, but this is where I can see it being very beneficial to not only just Square Enix as a whole, but for gamers too. If PlayStation's management takes over Square Enix's production. And what I mean by that is Square Enix obviously has a hard time with having a very successful portfolio of bangers, if you will. They have a hard time of having games that just come out, are very successful, like a string of success. And what happens is they have one game that's a really big success, and that game is able to fund the smaller titles like the Octopath Traveler 2s, the Bravely Default 2s, and things like that. And then one game flops, and the company's just like, well, you guys, we can't do anything like this ever again, so we have to pivot into non-fungible tokens, and I don't know, we might have a GameStop partnership in the works. I don't fucking know. Like, they just make those dumbass decisions. So I feel like if PlayStation is able to levy their management of studios to Square Enix, and they're able to help them manage these games properly and set expectations accordingly. That's very important. Setting expectations accordingly, because Square Enix, you saw how they handled Eidos Montreal. You saw how they handled Crystal Dynamics. Like, we've seen it. They just don't know how to do it. And PlayStation is very successful from a Western front. I could see that working well for them. That being said, if PlayStation is going to do this, they got to go crazy with the support for Japanese titles, right? I'm talking about reinvesting and reinvigorating the Japanese gaming scene, because PlayStation, they don't really have any sizable studios in Japan anymore. Like, the studios last generation that gave us Gravity Rush, you know, gave us games like Ape Escape, gave us all those single A, double A titles, like, the talent there is not there. They've left, or they're working on stuff like Astro Bot. So I would like for them to go ahead and refocus and start creating more games targeting the Japanese audiences, because you get different perspectives and you get different flavors. Like, not everything needs to be developed like a Western style game. Like, there's room for all of that stuff to exist. And in fact, there's room for like the brand synergy. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you see what happens, like, you know how they say like West influences the East and the East influences the West, and things like that. Like, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is a prime example of a Japanese author being influenced by a lot of Western media, and then Ghost of Tsushima is like a prime example of a Western studio being influenced by a lot of Eastern media. Like, I feel like there could be some stuff like that happening. So that would be the only example of me seeing it being beneficial, like PlayStation buying Square Enix in that case. But if it's just going to be business like usual and PlayStation is buying Square Enix just so they can keep the games exclusive to PlayStation, I mean, you're already getting all of the games anyway. So it's just like, why? Unless there's something else that we're missing, like some final piece of the puzzle that we're not seeing. But shout out to all the people who've been joining recently. We have Cold, we got Fun Speculation. And I want to take a quick break to tackle some of the super chats, because you guys have been blessing it, and I know some of y'all have been waiting. So I'm scrolling back up the top. We are starting with Corey Gryffindor, who gave a $4.99 super chat. For Kingdom Hearts 4, what are you most interested in? Is it Disney bosses or boss fights against the foretellers, who are all Keyblade masters with unique abilities? So, you know what, Corey Gryffindor? This is so funny. this is so funny, by a crazy coincidence, because we finished up the topic of talking about like PlayStation maybe acquiring Square Enix. This is a perfect segue back into some games that I would like to see. And this one is a pipe dream. I don't necessarily think it's possible, but I think if we are talking about Square Enix games that need to show up that aren't Final Fantasy 16, there are two in particular I want to see. I want to see Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth, and I want to see Kingdom Hearts 4. Now, we'll talk about Kingdom Hearts 4 for a bit because I also have to speak a lot on Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth. Kingdom Hearts 4 I do want to see because it's been a little over a year since that last debut trailer, and we know Square takes a lot of time on their games. We know this game is going to be running, Unreal Engine 5, so it's probably bare minimum 2 to 3 years away, depending on how smooth progression is going with development. It is something I do want to see because Kingdom Hearts is still a very, very big part of Square's portfolio. They haven't put out a big game in the series since Kingdom Hearts 3, and that's going on 4 years now. You know, they've had Melody of Memories and they do the, you know, mobile stuff, but unless you are a hardcore fan of the lore, you ain't checking for that shit. Like, let's just be real about life for a second. So Kingdom Hearts 4 would get people excited, especially to buy a PS5. Me personally, what I want to see in this with Kingdom Hearts 4, I want to see more of a proper structure to the narrative. I want to see it be like, listen, I love Tetsuya Nomura's ideas. He's very similar to George Lucas in the sense that, like, if you look at the bigger picture, a lot of his stuff is really cool, but he needs to work with collaborators to rein all that shit into something coherent and palpable for a lot of people. So I want to see a more focused narrative with Kingdom Hearts 4. Whatever story you're trying to tell for this new saga, take your time with it. Make sure everything is done in a very specific way that serves the story, and don't necessarily use that as an opportunity to put out 40 different fucking entries. Maybe this will be a Kingdom Hearts saga where all the main games are on one platform. You play Kingdom Hearts 4, and then maybe you get like a DLC side mission or whatever, expansion in 2 years. Then you get 5 and things like that. That'd be crazy. But personally, what I want to see more than ever in this game is I want to see more focus on the original content introduced into Kingdom Hearts. So the foreteller stuff, the stuff that they've been seeding in, you know, a lot of the mobile games, I want to see that brought to the forefront because it was included in Kingdom Hearts 3, but really not to a crazy degree. They were obviously waiting for the next chapter to do that stuff. But if you play the mobile games, you see that stuff there. I want to see that done on a grand scale. Introduce a lot of new characters, build them up, make it a whole saga, do it right. I would love to see that over the Disney content. And I know that's counterintuitive to what Kingdom Hearts is as an entity. Because Kingdom Hearts was a mishmash, hodgepodge combination of Square meets Disney. And it was really cool in the beginning, and I loved seeing Sora interact with all these characters. But one thing that, you know, was my least favorite part about Kingdom Hearts 3 was going to all the Disney worlds. Not that I didn't want to see the Disney worlds, but when you go to a lot of them, they just don't have that same... It doesn't feel as organic compared to Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2. Like, yeah, we know that, like, Sora, like, him hanging out with Simba or him hanging out with Hercules, it's not 100% relevant to the plot, but in the context of the story, you actually felt like, you know, the characters were there. Like, sure, not to the point where Sora makes a huge difference in the storytelling, because, you know, it's still going to follow the same beats of the movie, the animated movies, but it felt more than what you saw in Kingdom Hearts 3 with worlds like Frozen and Tangled. Now, obviously, there's a reason for that, because Kingdom Hearts, or should I say, like, Disney in terms of their handling of the properties, they cared when they licensed it out to Square back in the early 2000s, but things obviously changed with Frozen and Tangled with how huge they were, especially in merchandising. So they were more hands-on with how they were portrayed in Kingdom Hearts 3. And I wouldn't be surprised if that was part of the reason why Kingdom Hearts 3's development took so long, because of Disney and having to approve everything at every process. But if you play the Frozen and Tangled worlds, they look very nice. They look like literally like stripped out of the animated movies, but they are so lifeless. They are so hollow. Like, literally, you could take Sora and company out of it and it would be exactly the same. And at that point, I don't really have fun playing it. You know, it definitely does seem like Martin Scorsese said, these are theme park rides, they're attractions. And it makes it even worse with the Kingdom Hearts 3, you know, theme park ride abilities. So it's not that I don't want Disney Worlds in Kingdom Hearts 4. I would love to see Treasure Planet. I would love to see Atlantis. You guys know, if you've been following me for 15 years, you know I've been preaching those worlds in a Kingdom Hearts game. But I need to see it handled with that care. I need to see them actually give a damn with it. And if it's just going to be like, oh, hey, we're going to have this world in here, like, I don't know, like, what, Soul or whatever? I don't know. And it's just some bullshit. I don't need to see that. I would much rather them use those resources to work on the original stuff in Kingdom Hearts. Sure, it might be a major departure for some people, and I already know some of y'all are not coming with me with this idea for Kingdom Hearts 4. But I'm just looking at it as like what can serve the game best. And if the game itself is better because of the original content, then give me all that stuff. But if you can find a way to balance it with the new Disney stuff and then make it actually matter, then I'm cool with that. So honestly, I would say go ahead. Like, if you can do both, definitely do both. But if not, then I'll just take the foreteller stuff. I want to see that. And we'll talk about Final Fantasy VII Rebirth in a second. We have a $9.99 super chat coming from Mr. Hero 17. What are your expectations for Marvel's Spider-Man 2? As you know, we've had a lot of Spider-Man games in the past decades. What fresh ideas do you want to see brought to the table in Spider-Man 2? So we kind of tackled that a little bit, but we didn't speak too much on it. Obviously, the first thing I want to see is I want to see the world expanded. We've done Manhattan to death. We've done that to death. And unless you are making Manhattan a living, breathing world where everything is interactable and you can go inside certain locations and the world is very, very, very dynamic, I want to see more of it. I want to see other boroughs with different things going on. Because if you're going to give me the same standard open world fare, at least give me more boroughs to explore with different missions and side quests and stuff like that. And yeah, there have been a lot of different Spider-Man games before in the past. I would love for them to bring back more of the quirky, fun mini games from the previous Spider-Man titles. Like just fun mini games, just random stuff. Like you just going around fucking delivering pizza and, you know, just like shit like that, you know, like not everything needs to be like, oh, just stop the enemies, stop the criminals or beat up all the enemies in these hideout locations. Like make the world more dynamic, make it feel alive. And I know it's such a simple thing to say, but it's true. Like if I get excited about exploring the map, let me do more than killing enemies in their hideouts and collecting pigeons and comic book panels. Like there's only so many times we could do that. Another thing I would like to see is, I don't know how they would tackle this, especially on a grander scale, but maybe your morality system, maybe, you know, your influence in the city, you know, hero and a menace. Like, you know, that's something that's been sort of discussed before in the past, and we've seen like it done in like various games to like smaller degrees, but something on a grand scale with Insomniac, I think a morality system would be really interesting. Seeing how that ties into the narrative would be something else. We know that Miles Morales is going to be a playable character in here, and Insomniac did confirm that the game itself is going to be an epic single player adventure. So that means that there's going to be no co-op, at least in the story mode. I'm still hopeful and optimistic that it gets its own separate mode, because I feel like that'd be awesome, similar to Ghost of Tsushima Legends and how Sucker Punch handled that. But yeah, seeing as what they're going to do with Miles, I'm curious, because I love the way GTA 5 handled the story. I love that you were able to switch between different characters, and every single time you switch the characters, you would see them doing different stuff. Like whenever you would switch from I don't know, Michael to Trevor, and then you would see what Trevor was getting up to, and Trevor is just like in a freaking ditch and he's drunk out of his mind, or he's banging a hooker or something. Like, it's just crazy shit like that makes the world feel alive. I don't necessarily know how you're going to handle that with Spider-Man. Like, what could they realistically be doing? The only way I could see them doing different shit is if they make Miles and Peter playable, which I kind of don't want, because in the first Spider-Man game, I absolutely hated the human segments. I hated the stealth missions with Miles. I hated the stealth missions with Mary Jane. It was just so tedious, and it broke up the gameplay to a crazy degree. But yeah, being able to switch and see what the other characters are up to, that could be fascinating, depending. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff that they could handle with this game. And the last thing I want is it to just be Spider-Man PS4, but prettier. I feel like, especially as we've seen with like Red Dead Redemption and Tears of the Kingdom now, like what you can do in an open world game goes far beyond, hey, go to this waypoint, check out this tower, get this collectible. Like we can start doing a lot more stuff. But yeah, if they just give us a standard open world fare, okay, the story will probably be good. But at least want to have co-op as a separate mode, not in the story, but a separate mode where we can do other shit. But what do you guys think? What exactly do you guys want to see in Spider-Man 2? Like outside of the usual stuff that we expect from Insomniac, like what would be like your dream thing? $5 from Julian Phoenix. Spider-Man 2 is confirmed single player and people are mad. I'm glad. Yeah, I mean, I want co-op. You guys know, I just talked about it. I would love co-op in the game if it's handled as a separate mode. Because I don't think co-op hurts games. It just hurts the games where it's poorly implemented. $4.99 from Battlefield Joe. You ain't gonna spend $20 for the Miles and Miguel skins in Fortnite? Nah, I'm good. Fortnite is one of those games where I'm just like, I love seeing people play that game. I love just seeing Goku run around with an AK-47. That is hilarious to me, bro. That is awesome. And I'm waiting for the day where we have a different leadership at Nintendo where they allow them to put Mario or Link. Mario or Link with a Glock in the game? Shit, those are the real Tears of the Kingdom. Holy fuck. $1.99 super chat from Long Live Kevin Samuels. What if Jak 4 gets announced? Dude, who would even make that game? Who would even make Jak 4? Because Naughty Dog is not equipped to make Jak 4 anymore. It's a completely different studio for the past like 15, 16 years. They've tried to make it in the late 2010s, well, the late 2000s, but it just wasn't coming together because it's a different studio now. It would have to be something that they outsource it to. But man, they really have to get a good quality studio to work on that game because the expectations are going to be through the roof. And Jak 4 is one of those games where it doesn't need to be a big AAA type of title, man. You could get away with Jak 4 being a AA game. You really could. $9.99 for Mr. Hero 17. This is also PlayStation's chance to be the first to showcase how Miles' symbiote story goes. What is he like with the black suit? How will it differ from Peter? Ooh, that is awesome. That would be great to see that done on an epic scale because it really hasn't been touched in mainstream media. Well, because, you know, Miles is still a relatively new character. Like we see him in Spider-Verse. He hasn't appeared in the MCU just yet. So if they do a black symbiote arc with Miles and you see how Peter would have to react to that, oh, that shit would be great. Or maybe they ended at a cliffhanger where it's like Peter gets the symbiote in this game and at the end it transfers to Miles and maybe like the third game Miles is like the villain or something. Nah, they wouldn't do that. They wouldn't do that because then if Miles is the villain of the third game, one of them got to die. And I don't think they want to do that. That would be pretty dope though if we saw that. Then again, it depends like how long would this game be? If you're going to have the symbiote be a factor in the story, I don't know. Either way, I feel like tomorrow we're going to see exactly like what this game is about to be. Unless they do a really vague trailer where it's just like random shots of them swinging and, you know, it's like, well, this looks good, but what are we doing here? But then again, if the story is fired, they should keep it secretive. $4.99 from Blue Senshi 19. Somehow my Xbox Elite Series 2 controller has fixed itself. I love Xbox controllers, not the games, just the controllers. What's up, 5 Yo, Xbox still got the dopest controllers, man. I don't care what people say. I love the DualSense, I really do. But the Xbox controllers, like if you just had to give me a controller and I'm spending $60 on it, just give me the Xbox controller, man. Like it's very comfortable. You know what you're getting into. Great battery life on it. Sure, it has AA batteries, but at the same time, it's like, bro, it is what it is. Still a dope controller, man. I fucks with that shit. I know a lot of people are saying that, well, it needs haptic feedback and it needs this and it needs that. I'm like, sure, at some point, Xbox will introduce that. Positive. But to the same degree, I'm just like, I'm cool. I'm very cool. I'm very simple. I don't need all the bells and whistles of all these controllers. I don't need my controller to like vibrate in a certain way where it knows how many ice cubes I have in a cup or, you know, it's all that weird shit. But yeah, I will say this though about Xbox controllers, specifically the Elite line. Your mileage is definitely going to vary. not all the Elite controllers are made the same. One of my friends, a couple of people I know on Twitter have just always had to send their controllers back to Xbox. Me, myself, and I've owned an Elite controller for about 3 years now, and I haven't run into any major issues with it. Like, there was one situation where the A button wasn't registering like a click at times, but then it sorted itself out. So it's good now. But I always recommend that to people, especially because you're paying like $100+ for this controller. They have the core model out now, which is like much cheaper. I think it's like 110, 20, something like that. But remember, it's a great controller if you don't have any issues. And if it has issues, then it is not a great controller for you. Let's see, $2 super chat coming in from Flame. I just want to see the PC ports. Give me Ratchet. Yeah, so let me just take a water break, because oh my god, I feel. Oh, guys, I've been talking. Jesus. I have been talking. And it just hit me now. Fucking hell. Oh, wait. I don't think I took a breath once during that entire speech. Okay. All right. I feel like I've been talking for an hour straight, guys. Okay, so that's another thing I feel like we might see at the showcase. We might see more PC ports, because y'all know this. PC ports, they are now a thing with PlayStation. They've ported a couple of games in their library. As far as the PS5 is concerned, Returnal's come to PC. Sackboy is now on PC. Freaking, what was the last one they put out? Last of Us Part 1 is on PC, which probably they should have waited an entire year before they ported that, just given how much they botched it. But I wouldn't be surprised if we see maybe like 1 or 2 games come out on PC. I'm not sure if they'd be all PS5 titles, considering Jim Ryan did just come out and say like the PC releases would be staggered. So I don't necessarily think that we're going to see PC ports, unless it's like a weird situation like Last of Us Part 1. I don't think we're going to see it come out as frequent as folks expect. I still think it's going to be like 2 years minimum. So if you say 2 years minimum, we're kind of getting to the point where we could see within like the next couple of months rumors about Horizon Forbidden West coming to PC or Gran Turismo coming to PC, if they stick to the 2-year rule. Like Returnal just dropped on PC, and that's 2 years. Days Gone came out on PC, I think, within 2 years as well, and that was a PS4 game. So yeah, we'll see what happens, man. If they do announce something like Ratchet and Clank coming to PC, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, I could definitely see that happening, because it has been 2 years. God of War Ragnarok, I don't think, because the game is still very new. It's only a couple of months old. The only time I could ever see them release something on PC is where they feel that they have stretched out everything they could get from a PS5 version. Like, sure, it'll sell when you put it on sale for like $20, $15, but to the point where it's like the mass media has consumed it, some of those games I could see them released on PC. But yeah, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, if you guys have not played it, it's a very, very solid Ratchet and Clank game. Is it the best game of the series? I don't personally think so, but it is absolutely gorgeous. I know we say this about every Ratchet and Clank title, but literally it does feel like a Pixar movie come to life. In some cases, it looks even better than a Pixar movie, because this is like fully in motion. It's 60 frames per second. The amount of particle effects that are on screen. Insomniac are friggin' wizards, man. It's crazy. That water bottle didn't stand a chance. It did not, Four Eyes Malone. It did not. You guys know me, man. I just literally like, bro, literally it's just like, you know what the funniest thing was? Not to bring up the past, but I had a girlfriend at the time a few years ago. Oh my god, she hated how I used to drink water, because I always said that I drank water like I was the first freed slave that found a water hole. You know, like, 'cause the way I would be drinking water is I would just literally when I drink water, man, a nigga is thirsty, bro. So I would just be drinking it like this, straight up. I was like that. And she would hate that the water bottle would go like this. And she's like, why do you drink water like that? I was like, because water is fucking tasty. You over here drinking bottles of wine. Don't ask me questions. But anyways, the first freed slave. Oh man. So, okay, so let's get back to it. Something I do want to see at the showcase: Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Yes, technically that is going to be the next big title from Square Enix that's coming out. We don't have an exact date outside of winter 2023, but it is something that, oh, I skipped your super chat, Dimwit? Oh my god, brother, I'm so sorry. Oh my god, I skipped 2 of them. They did not pop up on my feed. Hold up, you guys. I am so sorry. We've got 2 more super chats before we talk about Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. $5 super chat coming in from the homie DimWitMonkey. If they buy Square Enix, this is Sony, will we get that crossover doujinshi? I feel like we should know what happens when Sly Cooper and Sephiroth get it on. You know, if this wasn't a super chat, I don't even want to know. This was a cross. Was this actually a thing? Was this actually a thing? Somebody catch me up to speed on this. And DimWitMonkey is just like flexing his fingers like, yeah, I'll let you know what this was. Jesus. But shout out to the homies who have joined recently. I see Fun Speculation in the chat. I see King Taichi in the chat. We got El Cholesterol. I like that name. El Cholesterol. We got Omega Katana. We got Darkstar Archangel. And of course, you know, Four Eyes Malone is in here. We got Kazuma. What's going on, you guys? We got Marcus Make Stuff. I love how the second I talk about Kingdom Hearts, it brings out everybody. Yes, yes. And a new episode of Ted Lasso is dropped. Let's see. Okay. $4.99 coming in from John McKinney. What do you think of Tim Burton's Vincent? A very underrated short that deserves more attention. Not gonna lie, it gave me nightmares as when I was a kid. So I haven't seen that in a very long time. I'd have to go back and rewatch it for good measure because I'm a firm believer of like watching a lot of stuff that you saw years ago as an adult to see if you hold the same opinion of it. Or just in general, watching a lot of your favorite stuff every 5 years to see if you still like it the same way or if you find something different about it or something new to appreciate. But yeah, the thing about Tim Burton is that Tim Burton, like a lot of his shorts and things like that are very, very, like, not that they're, I wouldn't necessarily say they're all underrated, but they're just underappreciated because people, the first thing people always think of with Tim Burton, you know, where do they go to? Obviously, they go to stuff like Beetlejuice. Obviously, they go to Batman. They go to Nightmare Before Christmas, which is funny because he didn't even direct that. He had a big influence out of it. He didn't direct it. All those things. But a lot of his shorts are really cool. And one movie that I liked, Frankenweenie. I really did. I know a lot of people didn't enjoy it, but I liked Frankenweenie. It was cool. It was cute. Corpse Bride was great too. I actually rewatched Corpse Bride within the past couple of years, and I actually really enjoyed it. But yeah, I need Tim Burton to go back to making like really good movies. Like good movies, not Dumbo. Dude, that Dumbo movie, oh, wow. If you didn't tell me that Tim Burton directed that shit, that's how you know these Disney live action remakes are soulless, bro. Tim Burton directed a Dumbo movie, and it felt like so by the numbers. Like, oh, I was disgusted, bro. Oh, man, that was something. Let's see. We have a $5 super chat from Julian Phoenix. Play Jedi Survivor, bro. This John is the best Disney Star Wars ever told. Yo, dude, my homie Shut Up Gabe, he's been playing Jedi Survivor, and I've seen this man go through every emotion I think that is conceivably possible a human could go through. And he's literally hounding me every single day to play this game. Like, every single day. And I'm just like, Gabe, you know I'm going to get to it at some point. You know it. But he's just like persistent with it. He's like, no, you have to play this game. This game is breaking me in all the best ways. And I was like, how? He's like, I can't fucking tell you how, but the story is incredible. So it's not just you, Julian Phoenix. He is literally going insane. Jason also played it. Jason said the story is great. Me, myself, and I'm just waiting for a performance patch. I'm waiting for the performance to get ironed out to the point where it's like a really smooth and stable 60 frames per second with no issues. But yeah, it's on my list. It is on my list, you guys. You know, but you know what the thing is for me? Oh shit! It's Colin, my boy. What's up, man? How you doing? And we got Cutter Freeman in the chat. My man, Cutter Freeman. Look at this. Look at this. Cutter Freeman just said, what was the first thing you're ever excited for that let you down? For me, it was Ghost Rider Spirit of Vengeance. Oh, God. Jesus. The first thing I was excited for that let me down. All right, so I'm gonna try to do like a deep cut through history. Okay. This might sound weird. You know, this might sound weird. But I have two examples of this from when I was a kid. And these are like probably some of my earliest gaming memories. So we're going to rewind the clock to the late 1990s, okay? Because you guys know I was a 90s baby and everything. I love my Saturday morning cartoons. I love my Ed, Edd and Eddy. I love my Powerpuff Girls. I love my Rugrats. I love all that shit. When I found out that there were games coming out for them on the N64, when I tell you, like, 5-6-year-old me was like dumb excited, holy shit, man. So I remember, I think I don't believe I got it for like my birthday or Christmas or whatever, but there was this Rugrats game that I had bought on N64. And I think I was like begging my mom so much, like, Mom, I want to get this Rugrats game. I want to get this Rugrats game. And she was just like, okay, fine. We'll get this Rugrats game, but that's like the last toy you're getting for a while. And I was just like so happy. Or maybe I had to like get like straight A's for something. And it was like that Rugrats game. And I was like, yeah. So I got this Rugrats game and I was so excited to play it. And that game was dog shit, bro. That was my first example of like being excited for something and getting let down. And after that, you would think that, all right, Neo, like you just this is my first example of these licensed games not being worth a damn. A few years later, there was a Powerpuff Girls game that came out, I believe on the N64. And I was smart this time. I didn't use any of my money, my birthday money or my chore money or whatever. So I rented it from Blockbuster. I used one of the coupons that you guys remember when Blockbuster used to send you into, they used to send in the mail the coupons where you get like free rentals for stuff. I remember getting a coupon and I was so excited because we had a 3-day weekend. And I was like, yes, oh my God, I'm going to rent this Powerpuff Girls game because I love Powerpuff Girls. Powerpuff Girls was the shit. I don't care what people say. I loved Powerpuff Girls. I love Totally Spies. I love that. Listen, I'm still clapping cheeks now. So what? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, man. You can watch Powerpuff Girls and still clap cheeks when you're an adult. Anyways, so, you know, I rented this game and I was so excited to play because Powerpuff Girls is the shit, right? I played this game and this was my first experience with being publicly ridiculed by my family. I played this game and the controls were so god awful. And I remember I was playing as Bubbles and I was trying to punch Mojo Jojo and the controls weren't working. I was trying to go left, but this shit was sending me right. And then I was trying to get to Mojo Jojo to punch him. And I remember the character model, it was so poorly animated. The way that they would punch, they would like jump and try to punch Mojo. Like they were trying to do an uppercut, but they were the same fucking height. Why the fuck are you jumping trying to hit him? I don't get it. I don't understand it. And they were making like, cause you know, it was a fucking budget game. So like the sound effects sounded terrible. And it was like a pew, a pew, a pew. And all I remember is my sister and my dad fucking dying in the background. Like, what is this? You know, like, this is what you play? Like, oh, like a pew, a pew, a pew. And I remember I was like, can we go back to Blockbuster? I don't want to play this anymore. So that was my first experience getting bullied too. But yeah. I think that's where my disdain for licensed titles came from. Fucking Rugrats and Powerpuff Girls, the video game on N64. One of them might have been on PlayStation 1. I have no idea. It was on a console. I know that much. So yeah, just brought back some memories. Jesus. Oh, God. I will say this, though. Some of those Toy Story games were kind of fun. I don't know if they were great, but they were fun. Now we're here to bully you. Well, listen, I've grown thick skin from that, my friend. I've grown thick skin from it. Oh, golly. But you know what game I kind of did enjoy playing that was a licensed title? The Over the Hedge game. I think it was on the PS2 or the GameCube. All I remember is like my brother and I would play that game a lot. I don't even remember if it was good or not, but my girlfriend and I actually just randomly watched Over the Hedge. Like, we were just chilling. We were chilling at her place. And, you know, we were having a lazy day. I'm talking, like, lazy to the point where we ordered Uber Eats for breakfast. We stayed in bed. We ordered Uber Eats for lunch. We stayed in bed. And we watched Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. And then we saw Over the Hedge randomly. Because I was just like, let's watch Over the Hedge. And it was, like, I actually really enjoy Over the Hedge. It was a funny movie. It was a really funny movie. And also, Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, that was my shit on the PS2. But then again, that was one of the games where I realized for the first time in my life, I'm an idiot. Because I was stuck on this one level. I think I was in the forest where I had to find Aragog or whatever. And I was stuck for whatever reason for like a solid 2 years. I don't know why. And I randomly booted up the game, I think, like in what, 2006, 2007. And I remember finishing it that afternoon. And I was like, wait, that's it? Like, I thought this game was long as fuck as a kid. And it was like, what, only like 4 hours long? It was crazy, bro. I love how everybody has got these similar stories in the chat. Like, yep, I had a game like that too. Yep. This is why I fuck with y'all. It was just some fun shit. Some great stuff. You guys are awesome. Let's see. Oh, I think I also rented the Shrek. I rented some Shrek game. And I know there's going to be someone in the chat who loves Shrek and they're going to know this. I think it was Shrek 2. They had this mechanic in this feature, like Hero Time or something. And I couldn't stand it because the guy said, Hero Time all the time. And it was fucking annoying. Oh, another game that I hated. Oh, Pierre. What's up, Pierre? We got Pierre and we got MVEX in the chat. What's up, gentlemen? There was, I bought this Harry Potter game on the PSP. Because, yo, listen, I don't know about you guys, but when I got a PSP, I felt like I had the biggest dick a 12-year-old could have, bro. Because literally, I felt like I had, as stupid as this sounds, I felt like I had true power in the palm of my hands. I could play any type of game that I want, right? So, you know, I loved Harry Potter on the PS2. I was like, yo, I'm gonna buy a Harry Potter game on the PSP. I'm gonna play Harry Potter on the PSP. That shit is gonna be lit, bro. That shit is gonna be amazing. And then you realize that the PSP was a little too ahead of its time to be putting those kind of games on the PSP. So what they did with Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, and this is not just the PSP version that was ass, but the console version, is they made it this weird, like, 4-player wannabe Diablo type of game with 3 characters on the screen at the same time. And it was fucking ass. It was ass. Like, literally, it was like Diablo in the sense that it had the view style of Diablo, but nothing about it was as good as Diablo. And it was literally like, it took away the open world aspect of the game and it made it completely linear. And it's like a stupid, it wasn't even a side scroller. I don't even know how to describe it, but someone in the chat, yup, Goblet of Fire, that game was fucking terrible. It was so bad. I remember I bought it and I unwrapped it. We were driving home. I was sitting in the backseat. I was playing that shit. And if I could tell my parents to turn around, I would have told them to turn around and return it. It was so bad, bro. It was so bad. That Goblet of Fire game, wow. And Prisoner of Azkaban was so good. Goblet of Fire, that game is when I start to fall out of love with Harry Potter games. Yeah, so anyways, back to the PlayStation Showcase discussion, but not before some super chats that have come in. We have a $4.99 super chat coming in from John McKinney. Honestly, Dumbo was the wrong fit for Dumbo. I think you mean Tim Burton was the wrong fit for Dumbo. I think that's what you're saying. He should have done the Haunted Mansion instead. Absolutely. Why he's not doing the new one, I don't understand. But yeah, it was a dumb idea. I don't know if he did it for a paycheck or whatever, but yeah, no, that's not up his alley. Not at all. Then we got a $6 Canadian super chat from Colin, my boy. What are your thoughts on Space Jam? I know it's not a great movie by any means, but it was my first introduction to Looney Tunes as a kid. Listen, I don't care what people say. I love Space Jam. Is Michael Jordan a great actor? No. It was fucking terrible. Could you obviously tell that this shit was not done as a movie should be done and made it so it's believable, even though the characters are CG and the way they interact with Michael Jordan? Yes, it was absolutely god-awful. You can totally tell that they were just doing this shit because, like, fuck, we got Michael Jordan in the movie. Let's get Bugs Bunny. But at the same time, I liked it. Like, I don't care. Sure, it's the nostalgia, but it was just the right amount of stupid shit. You got Bill Murray in there for some reason. I don't fucking know. Similar to Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Why is Bill Murray there? We don't know. But it was fun, man. You know, there's some people who critique it saying that, you know, the Looney Tunes in this movie don't act like the Looney Tunes in the cartoons. I'm like, oh, well, listen, I'm not that well versed into Looney Tunes lore to know exactly how they be acting, but I don't care. I loved it. And you know what? It gave us a great R. Kelly song at the time. And I don't care. I still love that song. The new one, though, I think is dog shit. And I say that as someone who admits that the original Space Jam movie is not cinema in that respect. But the new one is just like, you had an opportunity to make a great Space Jam movie. and yet somehow LeBron James is a worse actor than Michael Jordan? I don't understand that. I don't understand that. That is different. That is very different. They succeeded in doing something. $4.99 from Long Live Kevin Samuels. Ultron is about to destroy the world. Oh God, here comes one of these questions. Ultron is about to destroy the world, but he will spare you. He'll spare us if you play Redfall at 20 FPS or watch Fast X. Which are you choosing? And you have to choose. Oh, I'd watch Fast X. I would absolutely, any day of the week, watch Fast X over play Redfall ever again. I'm sorry. Fast X, at the very least, has Jason Momoa hamming it the fuck up, doing a Heath Ledger Joker impersonation, and it is so ridiculously camp, and I love it. I don't know, maybe it's just the older I get, I like campy things, but I just love it. He is just like, he's menacing at times, but at the same time he is a doofus, and I love it. And it's just like he's the only one having fun in this movie, man. Yeah, but we'll talk about that when we discuss Fast X. Yeah, no, Redfall has no redeeming aspects. I'm sorry. I don't want to make this like a shit on Redfall session, but like there's no redeeming aspects of Redfall at all. I'm sorry. Like even the slightest thing that you could deem good as Redfall, like in Redfall, is just shit that's been done in other games, but better. So yeah, give me Fast X. Give me family. Give me family. Anyways, back onto our discussion of the PlayStation Showcase for those who are still listening. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I want to see that game show up. They haven't given a concrete release date, obviously, because, you know, the game is still in development and Final Fantasy 16 is their priority, so they don't want to overstep that. They said winter 2023. I wouldn't be surprised if this is more of a like March 2024 title, similar to Final Fantasy VII Remake, where that game came out in March and then they delayed it in April because, you know, COVID and all that. But I could see them doing the same thing for this one. And honestly, depending on how big Final Fantasy 16 is, yeah, I could see that being their big game for the first half of 2024. And for quality purposes, sure, why not? You know, this is going to be all on the PlayStation 5. So we have 2 Final Fantasy games targeting current generation systems, which is fantastic. And I'm excited to see what they do with it. I want to see how far they're going to go with it, because the director of that game was talking about like all the crazy shit that he wants to do with this game and the sequel. I am very excited because as somebody who enjoyed a lot of Final Fantasy VII Remake, there were a lot of things I didn't enjoy. Like the pacing of the game I thought was very bad, and it's very evident when you try to do a replay of it. The combat is still fantastic. The music is still fantastic. But the pacing's bad. I don't think that this game is going to have that same problem, because it is kind of like uncharted waters in that sense, where it's no longer just the 5 hours stretched to 30 hours. They say it is going to retell the story of 7, but there are going to be deviations, which gets me excited. But yeah, depending on how they handle this, this game in particular will dictate my excitement for the third part, because this is different, you know? They're doing a lot of things different with the Final Fantasy VII story, and will all of this pay off? Because remember, you're basically asking a person to buy Final Fantasy VII 3 times to get the full version of whatever this story is going to be, whether it's exactly the same or whether it's the same with deviations or completely different. I don't know, but this game is going to have to sell a lot of the people like me who have a lot of hopes and aspirations. You have to get us even more invested and on board with this thing that you're doing, this project. And the last thing I would want is for it to end up being terrible. But yeah, I'd love to see that there. Oh man, Jesus, I'm not even going front, guys. I am getting winded speaking about all this stuff, because I should have paced myself properly beforehand. Outside of that, I don't necessarily think we'll see. So here's the other thing, right? In terms of like new announcements and things like that, I would love to see an emphasis on gameplay more than anything at this showcase. I don't necessarily want to see CGI trailers. I don't want to see CG stuff, because that leads me to believe that the bare minimum, like those games are like 2 years out, if that. Similar to Spider-Man and Wolverine. I gave it a pass at the time because those were just like 2 bombshell announcements that really nobody was expecting. But now that we're like further on in the generation, and there's been a lot of time between this showcase and the last, you need to come out with the gameplay stuff. You can maybe have a CG trailer if it's kind of like a one more thing. Like, let's say, for example, Sony Santa Monica, right? If Santa Monica Studios comes out there and does a tease for Cory Barlog's next game, because, you know, he didn't direct Ragnarok. He was just a producer. We know he's working on something with space, I think. Something sci-fi. If they do like a teaser of what that is and it's CG, then okay, I understand that because presumably his team hasn't had a lot of time to work on it. That's fine because they just dropped Ragnarok. But if you're giving me a CGI trailer for something that a studio's been working on for years, like let's say Haven, for example, or let's say, you know, what's a first-party Sony studio that hasn't dropped a new game in a while? Like, if Naughty Dog comes out there and they drop a CGI trailer for something, I'm like, Naughty Dog, you guys haven't put out a new game since 2020. Like, you did Last of Us Part 1 remake, but that's not a new game. And that was a smaller team that did that. Y'all are working on Factions. So we are going to see Factions. That's a given. But if they are going to show another game, and like, give me a little bit of gameplay. All right? But if it's something like The Last of Us Part 3, all they have to do is just flash the title, and it's like, that's it. And for some people, that's fine. I'm like, all right, cool. Because I really loved most of The Last of Us Part 2. But yeah, I think just to wrap everything up, I think that we do need to see a strong emphasis on all of the studios at the showcase. Like, every studio's got to bring at least something. We need to see what is going on for the next 2 years or so. Because outside of Spider-Man 2, Wolverine is the only single-player game that we know they have coming out. Everything else has just been speculated. There have been some leaks, but you have to be transparent with the people to show them what's coming out soon. So yeah, I want to see all the first-party studios at least show up and show something, or the vast majority of them. And yeah, everything else would be icing on the cake. But I want to see all the PlayStation studios. It's about time. Similar to Xbox. When Xbox does their showcase in June, we have to see all the studios, because a lot of those studios we have not seen anything in 3 years. And 3 years ago was the last time they talked about those games, and those were CG trailers. They weren't even gameplay. So it's time. It is time for us to see gameplay and at least get some release dates. Juliun Harris says, are you going to stream the showcase? Sorry if you've already answered this. Yeah, I'm streaming it, Juliun Harris. Don't even worry, man. Yeah. I answered that earlier in the stream, but you weren't here. So yeah, I am streaming the showcase for those who are listening. We have a $5 super chat coming in from Kid Cool 1827. I've been rewatching the entire Ben 10 series. I'm on Omniverse, and it got me thinking, how cool would a Persona-style Ben 10 game be by Atlas? That would be pretty fire, man. I'm not going front. Like, I kind of fell off of Ben 10 after the first series with him being a teenager. I didn't watch anything after that. And then I think they made him a kid again. I don't know what's happening there. But that would be pretty dope, you know? You have the Omnitrix, and you have those basically be your personas, and you have Gwen and what was his name? Kevin. You can have them be like the characters in your party and shit. That would be fire, bro. If you got like a good studio working on it, like a Ben 10 RPG similar to Persona, that'd be sick. Hey, I appreciate you, DIMWITMONKEY. You good, man. My body is Reggie. But yeah, you guys, those are basically my thoughts on the PlayStation Showcase. I'm very excited for it as a fan of gaming, and it's about time for Sony to show up. They've been very, very, very quiet. But I think it will deliver. I think it will at the very least deliver a lot of good stuff. Oh shit, we got the homie Steel Rain in the chat. Steel Rain, what's going on, my brother? How you doing, bro? It's good to see you. Yeah, we just got done talking about the PlayStation Showcase, all of our predictions. It was a pretty good discussion. And as far as like any other predictions and things like that, you know, there has been the Corey Gryffindor, you're a mind reader, bro. Seriously. There was this Persona 3 remake that's been circulating, honestly, not just for a few weeks, but the past couple of months into last year. Atlas doing a full-on from the ground up remake of Persona 3. I'm very excited for that. I think that if we are going to see that, I wouldn't be surprised if it's at the Xbox Showcase. You know, how crazy would it be if we got a Persona 6 announcement tomorrow, and then we got a Persona 3 remake announcement at the Xbox Showcase? That would be fucking fire. That would be great. But yeah, we know Persona 6 is in development. We know a Persona 3 remake is coming. It's probably going to come out sooner than Persona 6. But yeah, I think that this Persona 3 remake, done in the style of 5, up-to-date graphics, and they bring together both versions of Persona 3, the portable and the definitive PS2 version, it's going to satisfy everybody. And I know some folks are saying, well, they just released Persona 3, the remaster. And like, yeah, the remaster is cool, but it's the PSP version. But if we're talking like getting all the content together in one game, a full remake, people would love that. Now, me, myself, and I would love for y'all to hit the like button. And I'm always saying that because Bryce over here, the homie Bryce, is like, yeah, y'all better hit that like button. I would love for them to do a full remake of Persona 2. I don't know if you guys have played Persona 2. It's not really as accessible as the newer games. But if you do have one of, where is it? If you do have one of these guys, if you do have one of these babies, this bad boy right here, beautiful. Beautiful. I'm thinking about firing this thing up, man. It's been a while. I love it to the Vita, man. Dude, I fucking loved the Vita. Oh, here's like my game case. Most of my Vita games were digital, but I still had a couple of physical stuff. In this case in particular, I don't know where the rest of the games are, but here's a couple of the stuff that I had in my collection. I had I was just buying random shit on clearance at Best Buy. Because, you know, like the Vita, soon after the Vita launched, I think everybody knew that the writing was on the wall. It's crazy. But I had like a bunch of random physical games. Like I had, like I was supporting random shit on the Vita, bro. I had, fuck, I'm dropping everything. The professionalism. Where is the professionalism tonight? I had, Demon Gaze, if you guys can see it. Demon Gaze. Wow. I had God of War, when they started putting like the PS2 games on the Vita. I had most of the PS2 games on the Vita. I had the Sly collection, the Jack collection. The Jack collection ran like dog shit, but the Sly collection ran good. I had the God of War games. I had like the entire trilogy of those games on there. Well, not, obviously not God of War 3. But God of War 1, God of War 2, Sly, Jack, Ratchet. Oh, those are fun. Dude, since my PS3 is not working, I just might boot up my Vita and just play like... Oh, man, now I'm getting nostalgic. Holy shit. I might just boot up my Vita and play... Oh, man. Oh, shit. What else do I have in here? Ooh, what y'all know about this? Listen, if y'all are a fan of this series, y'all are invited to the cookout. What y'all know about this game right here? I already know people who are watching are like, oh, look, zoom in on that thing right there. Zoom in on that thing. I wish it had a proper zoom, but yeah, you can't really see it. But Danganronpa 2 had that on the Vita. Very good game. I love the Danganronpa series. I have the first one digitally, and I bought the second one immediately, and I was like, yo, I fucking love this game. And then the last one I bought on here, just because I am such a whore for this title right here, The Wolf Among Us. I own this game on PC, on PlayStation 4, on the Vita, and when it goes on sale on Xbox, I'm gonna buy it again and play it on Xbox. I love The Wolf Among Us. I think it is my favorite Telltale story. Yeah. Then I have a whole bunch of like other physical Vita games like scattered around my room. I think I have... Yeah, you know what? I have a couple... I guess this is the part of the stream where we just go and show random stuff in the collection. Let me go ahead. Yeah, I have a bunch in my drawer, but like my physical Vita collection, let's see. Here's just a couple of the games. But whoop, the dust on these games. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ, cheese and rice. So yeah, like I said, I was just buying random shit on clearance at Best Buy in 2014. Conception 2, I put maybe like 2 hours into this game. It looked interesting. I thought it would be like a Persona kind of game, and then it was just very fucking weird. Look at the dust on that. So yeah, Conception 2. Like I said, Best Buy clearance. Oh. Oh yeah, that's right. I think this was like one of my last physical Vita game purchases. Danganronpa V3. I remember, I think I unboxed this on the channel. Danganronpa V3. I still have to finish this one. I don't know if V3... Did they put V3 on Game Pass yet? I'm not sure. Because if not, I think I'm probably just going to go ahead and play it on the Vita and finish it. Because I loved 1 and I loved 2. And I'm debating on finishing 3. I know nothing about the story. But is V3 worth playing through? Oh, we got some Danganronpa fans in the chat. I fucking love you guys. So yeah, Danganronpa V3. Of course, you have Danganronpa 2. I love the Vita cases. The Vita cases were so cool. So, Danganronpa 2. So yeah, the physical version must be somewhere. Ooh, and I've noticed, like, because this one, it was like PlayStation TV compatible. I bought a PlayStation TV. I have it somewhere in my room. But yeah, it lets you play like some of your like physical and digital games. Not all of them on the TV, which is great. But nowadays, I wouldn't probably hook those up to the TV. They would not look good. They would look worse than Switch games. But Danganronpa V3, Danganronpa 2. Ooh, Freedom Wars. Yo, I remember this game. Me and my buddy Shadow Wolf, Danny, we were campaigning heavy for people to pick this up. It was basically like another one of those Monster Hunter type clones, if you will, where everybody was trying to make like a handheld. Everyone who had a handheld out there, or every platform that had a handheld. I'm so dumb right now. I'm sorry, you guys. But basically, every developer who developed games on PSP or DS or consoles or whatever were trying to make the next Monster Hunter, and Freedom Wars was one of those games, and it was kind of fun. Let's see what else we got here. Demon Gaze. So here's that again, the game that I got on clearance. Demon Gaze. Oh, Unit 13. My God, I remember This is like, I think, the last game Zipper Interactive put out before they shut down. You know, these are guys who made SOCOM, and I remember this game was halfway decent. Yeah, Unit 13. What else? Oh, yes! Another game we campaigned for, Tales of Hearts R. This one, and you guys know I love the Tales series. This one was one of the games that, like, we were trying to convince PlayStation. No, we were trying to convince Bamco, listen, bring more Tales games over to the States. We'll support them. And I remember, like, this was one of the games we're like, yo, let's get Tales of Hearts R. And I bought it, and I'm so happy I did. I mean, the game itself is okay. It's like middle of the road Tales titles, but listen, I'm there to support. When I say about supporting shit, I support shit, bro. Like, fuck that. Ooh, Disgaea 3. The Disgaea franchise. Now, the thing about Disgaea is that series where I played like 2 games. I played Disgaea 4 and Disgaea, I forgot what the other one I played. But I played those games, and after that, I was just like, I don't care. I'm just going to buy Disgaea games, and I'll play them whenever. So I bought Disgaea D2 on the PS3. I got them all cheap, so it's not like I paid full price. But I bought D2 on the PS3 to support. I bought Disgaea 5 on the PS4 to support. I bought Disgaea 5 again on the Switch to support, and I did play it on the Switch. So I beat that one on the Switch. But yeah, I bought D3 on the Vita because I didn't have D3 on the PS3. So I wanted it on there. God of War collection. So this is 2 games. So it has both games on here. Shit, I legit might just charge my Vita tonight and just play some stuff, y'all. Take a break from Zelda. Of course, like I said, we got The Wolf Among Us on here. Love this game to death. Would y'all believe me if I told you that I own a physical copy of this, but I don't own a physical copy of Persona 4 Golden? I have the collector's edition of this game too, and this is a fun rhythm game. It just looking at the cover is absolutely goofy, but it has some fire remixes. I did not buy Persona 3 and 5 dancing games. I did not. I was like, I got my fill with one game. Oh, Lost Dimension. Okay. I have a lot of these weird, like, deep cut Vita games I've noticed. I bought this off the recommendation of a YouTuber I was subscribed to. He lives in Japan, and he just reviewed all these obscure Japanese Vita games because, you know, he lives there, and the Vita in Japan had, like, more support. And this is one game he was always talking about, like, yeah, it's like a halfway decent game. And that's the best way you could describe a lot of these, like, Vita games coming from Atlas and NIS America. Not all of them are great, but they're like halfway decent and you can find some enjoyment. And again, I was collecting for the Vita when it was like in its final days. So all this stuff was like under $20. What is this? Oh, wow. Okay. So this is Zero Time Dilemma. This is the third game in the Nonary series. So you know Zero Escape, you had 9 hours, 9 persons, 9 doors, and then you had Virtue's Last Reward, and this is the third one, Zero Time Dilemma. And I remember this game was like delayed for a while, but then it finally came out. Didn't play through this one at all. Again, it was one of those things where like I'll get to it eventually. And I was just like, wow, I really need to play this. Has anyone played it? If so, let me know if it's worth it, because I do need to still go through like D3, Danganronpa 3, and then if I really enjoy that, I'll probably go through that game too. But yeah, man, the Vita got me fucking nostalgic tonight, dude. You know what? I am gonna charge my Vita and see what I got in here. Do I still have the memory card installed? Let me go ahead and take this out. And you know what the funny thing is? I actually got this case for my Vita. So back in the day, this is like 10 years ago, I used to work at Staples, right? I used to work at Staples, and one of the perks and the benefits of like working at Staples is like they every now and then gave us points. Oh shit, shout out to the homie JFam who just gifted 5 NeoGameSpark memberships to people on the channel. So we got GC Plugs is now a member, Sean Wachowski is a member, Corey is now a member, Juan Castillo is a member, and Brosi Brosum are members of the channel. Shout out to y'all. And then Jason just said he sent the new emote over. So we about to get a new emote up in this bitch. Hold on one second. Black Bond is in the chat. That's not Cold Steel. Hey, Black Bond, I'm getting really nostalgic about the Vita today, bro. So I don't know. I might go ahead and, you know, I got Cold Steel on the PS4. You know, I might just go ahead and finish that one up. You know what I'm saying? Oh, man. I'm definitely going to finish Cold Steel just to spite Black Bond. Because I know he'd be just like, no, that's not how you get legendary. But I'm like, I beat the game. I beat the fucking game, Bond. That's what you wanted. Nah, Black Bond, but listen, I ain't even going front, man. I just... like I said, I'm enjoying the story in Trails in the Sky, but man, it's not aging well. It's not aging well for me, bro. And that's what's kind of killing me. And that's the same thing that Bobby was arguing about 2 years ago. He said, nah, listen, let him play Cold Steel, because if he plays Trails in the Sky, it might be too old for him. And I'm like, oh, all right. So Jason just sent us a bunch of new emotes. Holy shit. Oh, brother, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Jesus Christ. All right, I'm going to download this, and I'm going to update it to the channel. 1 second, you guys. 1 second. I'm going to go ahead and get this situated. 1 second. In the meantime, let me know how y'all's day's been. What y'all been up to? What you doing? How are the kids? How are the stocks? How's all that stuff, you guys? All right, let's see. Hold on. I always forget where to put this stuff. Okay, here we go. All right. Okay. Oh god, this is gonna be so cool. This is gonna be so freaking cool. All right, here we go. We're adding a new emoji, guys. Okay, there we go. So the new emoji, it should be live, you guys. I don't know if you'd have to refresh it, but either way, we just added in the Big Boss Punished Neo emoji. So that's there. And we're definitely going to work on adding more channel badges, like different things for the channel badges. But yeah, that should be there, you guys. Oh, there it is. There it is. Punish Neo. Holy shit. Punish Neo. You waited too long, jabroni. Black Mon, shut up. What do you mean waited too long, Bond? What? I waited... Nigga, you were not playing that shit when it came out originally either. Stop this shit. You just got into this shit within the past 5 years. Ah, man. Jay Ransom, what's up, bro? What's up? Is Grogu wearing goggles? Yeah, he's wearing Raz's goggles from Psychonauts. Oh, there we go. We got Metal Gear Neo in the chat. But yeah, no, I think I'm gonna charge my Vita tonight and play Trails of Cold Steel just to spite Black Bond even more. Yeah. So, okay, so we finished up the PlayStation Showcase discussion. We finished up the random Vita collection. I think we're gonna end the stream for tonight, giving my review for Fast X, you guys. I think it's time. We talk about that. I think it's time, y'all. Wait, what did David Biglog just say? Almost got picked up by a UFO while carrying my good old moonshine across the border. Remember, y'all, stay hydrated with that good H2 vodka. This man is carrying moonshine across the border. Jesus Christ. You played before COVID. Yeah, like I said, within the past 5 years. Bond. All right, so let's talk about this Fast and Furious shit, right? Okay. Let me answer the question. You a Vita fraud? No Cold Steel on Vita. Cold Steel is on Vita. Cold Steel is on Vita, Bond. It is on Vita. What are you talking about? What the fuck are you talking about, Bond? Bald and Furious. All right, anyways. Okay, so let's talk about this Fast and Furious shit, and then we're gonna wrap it up for tonight. Let me just answer the question. Why I saw this Fast and Furious movie, because y'all know me. I ain't a big fan of Fast and Furious. I kind of liked them when they were first starting to come out. I saw Fast 5, and I liked Fast 5 a lot. I thought Fast 5 is actually a pretty solid movie, all things considered. Then the last one I remember watching was Furious 7. And, you know, it was a nice little send-off for Paul Walker's character. It was cool. And then after that, I didn't watch a Fast and Furious movie. I didn't go to the theaters for them. You know, I had opportunities. People weren't inviting me. I was like, no, I'm fine. There's other movies I want to watch. Didn't really even care to watch it when it came out on Blu-ray and shit. But the last movie I remember watching in the theaters that's connected to Fast and Furious franchise was Hobbs and Shaw. And I actually enjoyed Hobbs and Shaw. I thought it was like the right amount of like ridiculous, stupid shit happening on screen. And it was enjoyable. Like Jason Statham, The Rock, like shit worked. Shit worked long enough for the movie. You know, like it was cool. It was great. What did my girlfriend just say? I made a protein shake and a burger. I washed dishes and my hair is getting ready to relax and play Tears of the Kingdom. Oh shit. Look at you being productive. My girlfriend is productive, y'all. And she went to the gym too. Oh man, look at that. That's that wifey material right there. But anyways, back to this Fast and Furious shit. Speaking of which, I saw that movie with my girlfriend. Holy. And the way I described it to her, I was just like, you want to go see this Fast and Furious movie? Like, I know them shits ain't been good for a while, but I heard it's like fun enough. And she's like, sure, let's go. So going into it, like I'd heard all the stupid shit people were saying. Because ever since like Fast 8, people have just started clowning the series. But you know what? It makes money and people like it. And you know what I always say? If you like it, I love it. I love that for y'all. But I ain't gonna see it. But considering, you know, I got this Regal membership, I'm not paying like $20 to go watch the movie. I'm paying the membership and then I can watch the movie technically for free. Technically. The only thing I would really waste is my time if the movie is ass. So we went to the movie last night. And as soon as this movie started, I was like, all right, something is off about this shit, bro. And okay, just for those who are wondering, I'm not going to spoil the movie. So if you are one of the 4 people who are interested in watching the film, I'm not going to spoil it. I'm going to talk spoilers next week. But like, I'm just letting you know, I'm not spoiling it. But already I knew something was off in this film because off the rip, within the first act of the movie, they was already one up in all the crazy shit that y'all saw in the previous films. And not in that cool John Wick kind of way where, okay, if you thought this was crazy, look at this shit. It's one of those situations where it's like, oh, we're just going to do ridiculous shit just because people expect us to do it. It's gotten to the point where the movies have become self-aware of how dumb they are. But the problem I have with that is you can't be self-aware of something and just go for it and not give us something cool in return. Like, just because you acknowledge the movies are dumb, you at least have to make it fun and entertaining. And this movie didn't do any of that. This movie, honest to God, felt like these niggas was on autopilot, no pun intended. They were on autopilot. Everything felt phoned in. From the set pieces to the the writing, if you will, to the acting, to the scenarios, the narrative. Like, it really felt like they are doing this movie because these motherfuckers ain't gonna have jobs after this franchise is over. Like, I'm just gonna keep it a stack. Like, really, outside of Fast and Furious, none of these niggas really got opportunities going for them. Like, the only ones you could really think of that have shit going is Brie Larson, because she's in Marvel movies, and technically John Cena, because he is in Peacemaker. And obviously James Gunn is going to keep him going forward. But like, everybody else, like, what these niggas really doing? Like, obviously they've made a lot of money for these movies, so they don't need to go ahead and really worry about franchises they got to do. But man, it feels so sad because at the very least, when it comes to these summer blockbusters, I go into them thinking like, okay, not every movie needs to be a John Wick. Not every movie needs to be something where it's just like a Mission Impossible, where people who love movies just... you could see the love of cinema. Like when Tom Cruise comes out and he says like, we're making this movie for movie lovers everywhere. Like, I fucking love the movies. Like Tom Cruise, you don't see that in Fast and Furious films at all, dude. And it's not even cool in like the power trip Saturday morning cartoon kind of way where it's like, it's so bonkers, but it's fun. It's just boring, man. Like, there are no stakes in this movie. You don't feel as if any of these characters are actually in danger, because this is part one of, as of right now, 2 parts, but Vin Diesel's talking like it's going to be 3, right? You don't feel the weight of any of the scenes. Like, and what I say, you don't feel the weight of anything. Physics, logic, gravity, all that shit is defied in this film. Like, we know it's a joke in the other movies, but it's even crazier now. There is shit that is pulled off in these movies, and you know what? Fuck it. I'm sorry. I gotta spoil something. I had a moment. I had a moment yesterday when I watched this movie where I witnessed something that if I could fall to my knees in the theaters, I would have. Like, my girlfriend can attest to this. I was busting out laughing, bro. My stomach hurt. There is a scene in this movie, and you might have seen it in the trailer, right? If you care about these films. But there's a scene in this movie where Vin Diesel's character, Dominic Toretto, he's in his car, and they are chasing this giant bomb throughout Venice, right? They're chasing this bomb all throughout the city, and it's just as ridiculous as it sounds. This bomb that is armed and ready to go off, that mysteriously doesn't harm anybody in the process. Like, this is a huge fucking bomb, bro. This is huge. Like, this bomb is massive, and it's rolling all throughout the city, Saturday morning cartoon style. The only thing missing were the sound effects. And nobody gets hurt at all. And all these characters are going after the bomb, trying to stop it. And of course, because the movie says the bomb has to keep rolling, it keeps rolling like it's Katamari Damacy or something. And it gets to a point where this bomb, the whole point is they're trying to blow up the Vatican for some reason. And this bomb is rolling, and their plan is they're going to try to get the bomb into the water. Because if they get the bomb into the water, it will, like, dilute the explosion or something like that. And so it's getting to the point where, like, oh, you think these characters are actually going to lose, and the Vatican might get blown up. Like, that would be fucking crazy. Like, oh my God, like, actual stakes in this movie, like, characters, you know, they fail at something and people die, and you know, they are viewed as responsible for this shit. Like, wow, they could really go places. Oh, this movie went somewhere. This movie went somewhere for sure. There's a scene where the bomb is like, okay, just imagine the Vatican. Imagine it's like a bowling alley, right? The Vatican are the white pins, and the bomb is rolling straight down towards the Vatican. And conveniently, there is construction happening on the side of this bridge or whatever. And Dom realizes that he cannot outrun the bomb to stop it. So what he does... I'm not being dramatic. I swear to you guys, I am not being dramatic. This like, I was shocked. But what he does is he sees that there's construction going on. And there is this crane in the distance. There's a crane in the distance. And so what he does is there is conveniently this ramp set up. And you already know where I'm going with this shit. And they're just like, yo, like, Dom, this bomb, are you going to make it? You're not going to make it. Like, they're telling him to abandon mission, save yourself, blah, blah, blah. And of course, Vin Diesel's like, we don't do that, family or whatever. So what he does is he hits the gas, drives off the ramp into the crane. He spins the crane around, and the crane hits the bomb and throws it into the ocean. But it doesn't stop there. The bomb explodes. The bomb fucking explodes and goes crazy. This motherfucker outruns a bomb. He outruns a bomb, and he's fine. No damage, no nothing. And then the news, and this is what really, like, just 1, 2, 3 hit combo me in the gut, and I started dying. This explosion is going everywhere. You see there's mass destruction. And on the news, they're like, everybody's miraculously fine. There's just this big explosion by the Vatican, but, you know, everyone is just all good. It's all fucking good, bro. I was in shambles. Like, after that moment in the movie, I could not recover. I was like, there is nothing that this movie can do that will ever top that scene. Nothing that this movie can do to redeem this. Nothing. So in that respect, that was a great time at the theaters, because I witnessed something that I never in my wildest imaginations. This motherfucker drove his car into a crane. It spun it around and conveniently hit the bomb and threw it into the ocean. The bomb exploded. There's all this damage. Vin Diesel outruns the bomb, and everybody's fine. I don't care, like, how crazy some of these movies have been, but that stunt... And guys, they play this with such a straight face. It's not like it's a joke and like, oh my god, that actually worked type of shit. It was ludicrous. It was insane. Like, this is a fucking transformer at this point. Like, I remember there was at one point in the movie where these 2 giant trucks pull up, and I was just like, oh shit, Optimus Prime is about to show up. Because at this point, what are the fucking odds? I believe it. And my girlfriend was like, oh my god, is this like that video on Twitter? I said, no, that was a joke. But I wouldn't be surprised. Flame says, who needs reality when you have family? Dude, this is just, it's ridiculous. And then there's another scene in the movie where those 2 trucks explode, and then Dom drives off this dam into the water, and the explosion is following his car. Like, all the other explosions around are going off, and he outruns the explosion. The car is burning, and he's all right. His son is all right. They just fall into the river. They're okay. No damage, no scrapes, no nothing. They are fine. And there's so much other shit that happens in this movie that is ridiculous. And it's gotten to the point now where it's like, it's not even fun, dude. It's just stupid. It's goofy. It's just, okay, it'd be one thing if this movie had like great banter, great dialogue, great writing with the characters, but like all you get at best is just a light chuckle here and there. And like, wow, this is stupid. Like, this is so stupid, it's funny. They are not even trying anymore, dude. Like, there's a whole bunch of characters who are in this movie for no fucking reason. Characters are set here to go on objectives for no fucking reason. Like, it is so bad, man. And it's not even like so bad, but you kind of like it kind of bad. I'm talking Transformers, Michael Bay level bad. The only redeeming aspect of this movie is Jason Momoa's performance as the villain. This motherfucker, The Dark Knight is Jason Momoa's favorite film. Because that man saw Heath Ledger's performance and he was like, yo, that's me, bro. I want to be him. That's what he said. And dude, from the second he gets on screen, he is hamming it up. It is corny. It is goofy. He is just so like cringy, but it works because he is having a ball, dude. He is owning that shit. And it's so fun to see Jason Momoa play a role this absurd. And at the same time, he does some villainous shit in the movie. So it's still like, oh yeah, he's goofy, but he's still, yeah, listen, you know who you're going up against. But man, outside of Jason Momoa and John Cena, I didn't care about anybody else in this movie. I didn't care about Dom. I didn't care about his family. I didn't care about none of that shit. It was just so dreadful, so bad. Like, wow. It was terrible, dude. It was so bad. Like, they had something. With Fast 5, when they pivoted towards like worldwide heist movies, they had something. This could have been like, you know how Mission Impossible had that big rebrand after the third movie? And like the movies kept getting better and better and better and better. Fast and Furious, like they literally, like, some of the first couple movies were okay. Fast 5 comes out. Oh, this is cool. And it's just like they forgot how to make great movies in the process, and they just stick to like the bare minimum shit. And now it's gotten even worse. It's gotten even worse, man. And now it's comical. It's the worst parts of a Saturday morning cartoon. And that's sad because I feel like you could have the best of both worlds. You could make it like a really funny, goofy Marvel movie with humor and great characters, and then keep it absurd like the John Wick movies with great choreography, with great set pieces. Like, I guarantee you, if y'all come out here, like, listen, when we watch this new Mission Impossible movie, when that comes out, you about to see how action is done on a crazy good scale. And it's going to remind people of what is actually possible when you take the time to make these films. Like, I am so fucking excited for the new Mission Impossible movie. Like, I might just go and rewatch Mission Impossible Fallout tonight. Bitch, I might do it. Shit, I might do it. But yeah, it was terrible. Did The Rock make a cameo? I mean, they already spoiled this, Gabriel. So for anybody who's listening, if you're not on Twitter, yes, The Rock did make a cameo at the very end of the movie because obviously Black Adam bombed, so this dude needs something. So he's probably going to be in the next movie or the next two movies, depending. And that's great for people who are looking forward to this. I'm not going to see the next one because honestly, like, I got my fill. I knew this was going to be bad, but I could not predict how bad it would be. Nothing about, and here's the thing, you guys, like I said, going back to it, if you had great writing and great characterization and all this stuff, this could have been, at the very least, a fun time of the movies. A fun time of the movies. Turn your brain off, not worry about anything. But all the characters' performances are so phoned in. The writing is non-existent. The story is paper thin, yet they're trying to stretch this out into 3 movies, and they pull an Avengers Infinity War type of ending where it just fucking ends, but there's no build up to the climax. It's like everybody learned all the wrong lessons from Infinity War. And that's what we got with Fast X. And it's just, oh my God. It was terrible, dude. And some people are saying like this is like the better of the worst Fast movies. We got to stop setting our bar so low. We got to stop. Like, dude, Jason Momoa carried this fucking movie. And even then, some people are going to say, like, nah, you know, he was not worth it. And I understand that. But still, at least every scene he was in, I was just waiting for, like, what stupid thing is he going to do or say? Like, if you watch at least, like, the one trailer, I only watched one trailer for it. It was the one where they had Notorious Thugs playing. If you just see him and how he acts in that trailer, you're thinking, like, oh, he's going to be, like, you know, a villainous villain. This motherfucker is different in the movie, bro. But they somehow made going to Mars, they made that seem more plausible. Like, not going to Mars, I'm sorry, going to space. They made that seem more plausible than what they did in this film. Zelda Moon says, fuck that family. Yo, listen, what family just lets this shit happen? I have no idea. Dude, I have no fucking idea. But yeah, you guys, that's my review of Fast X. There were 2 super chats that I got to before I went into my rant. $1.99 from Jason. I went to Fast X, I grabbed the collectibles, and I left. This man put that membership to use. He reserved a screening. He got his collectibles. He made a U-turn. He said, hey, yo, I'll be right back. And he just went back to the car. I respect it. Jason, I respect it, bro. $1.99 from Blue Senshi. Neo, you should spoil that garbage. And I did. And I did. You gave me a little bit of inspiration to do that, bro. Oh, God. But, man, it scares me. Because I know, honestly, I would not be surprised if they do some fuck shit and they try to, like, have Paul Walker show up in the next couple movies. Because he's technically in this movie in flashbacks. Because the plot of the movie is kind of like, it's kind of like a sequel to, what was it? Fast 5. And part of me thinks they might do some dumb shit where they like do some CGI face and AI and they resurrect him somehow because the character's not dead. Paul Walker unfortunately passed away. I feel like they might do that shit. BRB, let me put this in my car. Oh, God. I could see them doing that. And honestly, like, depending on how good this movie does, I could see them getting away with that shit. Because then people are going to be like, fine. Because you need something else for folks to talk about, you know? But yeah, you guys, I'm going to wrap up the stream here for tonight. That movie broke me for the second time tonight. Because I was thinking about that shit in the morning, but I kept it to myself. And now it's just on full display. At this point, fuck it. Bring in the Transformers. You know what? Bring in the Transformers. Universal Paramount collaboration. At this point, like, it's just literally, like, it's going to happen. There is no... You do not need to explain it narratively why the Transformers show up. Because at this point, Dom's car is a fucking Transformer. With what he's able to pull off, like, his car was made out of Zonite. Absolutely made out of Zonite, bro. Fucking adamantium, vibranium, all that shit combined in one is nothing compared to Dom's car. Sounds like a fucking Gooberfest. DIMWITMONKEY, you don't even believe, bro. Take it easy, Valkyne24. Thanks for coming through, Maddie. But okay, you guys. That wraps up tonight's stream. I need to go and decompress after this movie. I need to just go and Lee. It's not that I even hate this movie. It's just that scene. If this was just a bad movie, it's a bad movie. But that scene, it showed me what is, the sky is the limit. The sky is the limit, you guys. The sky is the limit. Oh, God. The sky's the limit. Now, normally, I would have a proper hydration check. But I don't have any hydration near me because we finished all our water for the stream. So what we are going to do is we are going to pretend that we're going to be drinking water because the water is finished. We got our H2O for the day. So everybody grab your favorite H2O beverage of choice if you haven't had H2O today. And we're going to have ourselves a hydration check. For those who don't know, a hydration check is our way of closing out the Ask Neo streams. And my way of keeping y'all accountable, making sure you're drinking your water. Because when you drink your water, it's good for your system, your hair, your skin, your nails, all that good stuff. All the good stuff, ladies and gentlemen. For some people, that water is alcohol. David Biglad is a big alcoholic. And you know what? That's his life. Those are decisions he makes. It's his life to live, man. And the only thing I worry about is his liver in 20 years. We'll see. But anyways, you guys, on the count of 3, we're going to have ourselves a hydration check. 1, 2, 3, hydration. And somebody's going to Photoshop an actual water bottle there and make it seem believable. So for these situations where I don't have water, we're going to be good. But man, that was fucking great water, you guys. Enjoy the rest of your mornings, your evenings, your afternoons, wherever you are watching this stream. We are going to be back tomorrow afternoon. We're going to be live streaming the PlayStation Showcase. We're going to be going live about half an hour before the show actually starts, just to get some last minute predictions off and, you know, hang out, enjoy the stream, all that good stuff. If you haven't already, make sure y'all hit the like button. It helps out the channel tremendously, helps send this video out into the ether. If you haven't, give your boy a follow on Twitter. We'd be posting some spicy stuff on there. And one of the tweets I made recently, which is just a random tweet, it got like 30,000 plus likes, which is absolutely insane to think about. Trapped to My Psych was saying like, yeah, you know, one of my comments got 4,000 likes on there. It was just some dumb shit we were talking about and it went viral. It's fucking crazy. But yeah, you guys, enjoy the rest of y'all's weeks. Get a lot of gaming in. Eat a lot of good food, get your exercise in, make those gains, have a lot of great sex, big emphasis on that. And from me to you for now, mine isn't, fuck, Fast X broke me. It literally broke my brain. From me to you for now, my name is NGS signing out, and like always, I will catch you guys later. Peace out, y'all. Have a good one. He flew the fucking car into the crane. Into the crane. And in the process, it broke my cranium. It really did.